Welcome to Alexandra Palace for the final session of the final day of the 2024 Masters. And could we be witnessing a fairy tale unfold for the man who we sat in that chair? Ali Carter, a player who almost gave up the sport just a few years ago, is currently competing in his fourth Triple Crown final, has lost all three previous finals, two of whom to the man who we sat in that chair, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the greatest player to ever pick up a snooker cue, who, by the way, will be competing for his unprecedented 8th Masters title. We have absolutely no idea how this one will unfold. All we know is that by end of play today, one man will be lifting this gorgeous Paul Hunter trophy and will be crowned Prince of the Palace.
There's a bit of history, to say the least, between these two, but the head-to-head is very one-sided.
This has been magnificent stuff from O'Sullivan. Carter powerless to do anything about it.
All right, fellas, just play on, yeah?
What a match it proved to be, what drama we had. A huge celebration from a feisty, competitive and courageous player.
Got to feel sorry for Ali Carter, who's fought so hard up within 2 frames of winning.
Ali Carter reaches his second Masters final next up on Sunday. It's the Rocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has the chance to play for a record-extending 8th Masters title.
What a final we have in store, and the man that Alan McManus said before the start of the tournament could upset the apple cart is doing exactly that. Afternoon session done and dusted, and the captain Ali Carter leads the world #1 Ronnie O'Sullivan by 5 frames to 3. And as for us, does it get much better than in venues than the Alexandra Palace? Do crowds get much better than the Alexandra Palace? And the pundits get much better than Jimmy White and Alan McManus? And Jimmy, 2 men who've won this title before yourselves. What a final we've had so far.
Listen, it's been top draw stuff. Lots of frames, 1 in 1 visit. Ali Carter showing the form where he beat Mark Allen, standing up to the test. Ronnie being ultra aggressive. I think he'll calm that down a bit tonight. I think he'll make Carter work for the victory. He's going to get it. So I think his safety play will be a little bit more intent. But what a final. You know, both guys playing fantastic stuff.
And you guys know all about that. So, Ali, if we rewind the clock back to 30 years ago, 1994, your final, a number of parallels between you and Ali Carter. So, for you, an all-Scottish affair, now an all-English affair. You were playing the world #1 Stephen Hendry, Ali Carter, the world #1 Ronnie O'Sullivan. You were 4-3 up after the afternoon session, Ali Carter 5-3 up after the afternoon session. With that said, how does he handle the pressure?
The first thing is he has to believe deep in his gut and deep in his heart that he's going to get this done. It's all right saying it. He said it last night, and that was brilliant to hear in the studio. But it's got to be deep inside. I take myself back 30 years, and I kind of do remember that evening where I was up against the man of the time in Stephen Hendry. I thought simply I was going to win. Deep inside, I thought I was going to win. You have to. If it goes deep in the match, which let's hope it does tonight, there's going to come a crunch time, a crunch shot, a crunch segment of the match where you've got to stay and stand tall and stay strong. Ali Carter, for me, looks like he's capable of getting this done tonight. We're about to find out. Can't wait.
We cannot wait for this one. And Jimmy, thus far, he's been superb. 94% shots at pot success. Super aggressive. We've loved it.
Yeah, he's been going for his shots. I think he feels that the only way he can win this match and this tournament is to stay aggressive. He had the similar shot against Mark Allen. You know, if he missed that shot, he's done the framing. This is quite a simple shot for Ali Carter, the form is in. But these long reds, they're going in the centre of the pocket, giving him a lot of confidence. This one, he swings it round the angle, gets a kiss, actually gets a shot on the blue into the green pocket. You know, these are all big shots. If they missed, you let O'Sullivan in, he's going to take the frame out. So a lot of pressure on them shots, and he's getting a very high percentage of them.
Jimmy mentioned Ronnie O'Sullivan, the heavy favourite coming into this one. How have you assessed him, Al?
I don't think he's been up to scratch in this, mainly because of the decisions that he's been making. That's an example of it. I go back a number of years to a Champion of Champions final. He played against Kyron Wilson. He actually went for a very similar shot. He didn't pay the price that evening, fortunately for him, but Ali Carter, I think, is in position. Here's another one that perhaps the cue ball could be a bit further towards Bolt, because there's a straight red to left corner that you see there that he's leaving for Ali to pick up the pieces of the chances. Ronnie, again, we can maybe give him a pass on that. Jim, eagle-eyed, it was a bit of a kick, I think Jimmy said, which I think I agree with. But it's clear today, and possibly tonight, that Ronnie O'Sullivan is prepared to go out on his shield. And if he's prepared to do that, he's got to be prepared for the consequences, because Ali Carter is all over him.
Absolutely right. We are pumped for this one. And by the way, it is the golden anniversary of the Masters. And it's safe to say every year of this incredible tournament, well, it's magic.
Ronnie, 50 years at the Masters. What makes this event so special?
I think it's just because it's like the top 16, creme de la creme. You know, every match could be like a final, you know. So, yeah. And the one table set up, I think that's always special. I think that makes this such a good tournament, you know.
It's arguably the most special event on the calendar. It's the most prestigious, I'd say. You know, being involved in this event is more special in a way than the World Championships, because it's compressed. It's only 6 or 7 days rather than 17. So the shorter formats, the match, winning a match on the day and you're straight into the next match on the next day, makes it more exciting.
And a memory that doesn't involve you?
Well, I think for me it was like the Hendry era, when the Masters started. It was always a special tournament, and I think Hendry won it so many times. I think he won it 5 times on the bounce, and I just remember being an amateur playing in a Pro-Am, and the Masters would be on the TV and you'd be watching Hendry just strut his stuff around the table. I think they're like the memories that I take from the Masters, you know.
Oh, possibly Paul Hunter winning, you know, then God rest his soul, winning 3 times. What a special player he was to win this tournament. And we'll never know how many world titles he'd have won, unfortunately. But, yeah, seeing him lift the trophy, I'm going to try and draw some inspiration for that this week.
And in terms of your favourite memory involving yourself?
My best performance, I think, would have been 2014. I played just fantastic. Coming into the tournament, I was playing horrendous. And as soon as I got here, I just started flying.
To walk down the stairs on finals night was very special. 7-5 up, I was winning, and then Stuart played a great match to win. So, you know, if I can put myself in that position again, hopefully all the holes will line up and I'll just go straight through.
And when you consider that discussion happened ahead of the final, one word for Ali Carter: redemption opportunity. Now, we mentioned the magic of the Masters. It's produced some fantastic moments over the years. No more than 30 years ago, Alan McManus. Obviously, you haven't aged a day since then. Can we rewind the clock and just remind ourselves of those final balls that you potted to be crowned the Master? Yeah,
it was a lovely feeling. I remember it well, actually. I think the break was 76 in the end to just about get it done. It's a tremendous feeling. And I remember when I sat down, I kind of threw my cloth up in the air and I thought, at last, I've won a tournament, and, you know, I've beaten the man of the time. And it was a fantastic feeling to hoist that heavy old golden trophy aloft. It was fantastic. I'll never forget it.
And just for context, Stephen Hendry was 5 on the bounce up to that point. You're playing him in the final. It was ebb and flow. There was not much in it all the way, and then a final frame decider.
Yeah, you take small tidbits from matches. I remember deep in the match when he was 8-7 in front, he flicked a snooker and he had a grin on his face, and I looked at him with that Glasgow thing going on and I thought, I'm gonna get you, pal. It didn't rile me, but I thought, right, OK, let's do it, and unfortunately it fell my way that time.
Well, congratulations to Alan McManus. We're now going to give you a mathematical conundrum here, because although Jimmy White's only 38 years old, 40 years ago he won the Masters. I know, who knew? 1984, Jimmy. Yeah. Again, what were your memories of that final?
I can't remember the 90s, let alone the 80s. No, of course. It was a fantastic feeling to, you know, I beat Terry Griffiths in the final. You know, 2 contrasts of different styles. You know, I was all out attacking. Terry was a great safety player. So, no, great achievement. No, it's wonderful. Delighted I actually won a Masters.
I know you never G yourself up, Jim, but what's that feeling actually like when you lift the trophy?
It's huge because, you know, not only is this a Triple Crown event, it was big prize money for us in them days, you know, so like that sort of set you up for, you know, a couple of seasons of everything all paid for ahead of you, so you could go on to then win other tournaments. But, you know, to win the Masters, being in London was fantastic.
Which is exactly the situation for Ali Carter, a local boy. 3 opportunities he's had to win a Triple Crown. What a fairy tale finish this would be.
It would be a fairy tale, but he wants reality, and that's what he's been playing on all week long. He'll well remember that final against Stuart Bingham, 7-5 behind. He's still smarting about it, and that's good, because he wants to right what he thinks is the wrong of a few years ago. Again, I think he's in a really good position to do it. Numbers don't really matter at the moment. It's about heart and courage and facing Goliath tonight, because that's what he's going to face. The crowd as well, they're going to play their part. They want to see it going deep. If it goes deep, can he get it done? We know Ronnie can. Can the captain do it?
It doesn't get much more exciting than this. One of the biggest sessions in the entire snooker calendar. You've joined us at the right time. If you haven't seen any of the tournament so far, you've missed some historic snooker, some meteoric snooker. But who will be crowned the master? It's the battle of Essex, Chelmsford versus Chigwell, and who will prevail? We cannot wait for this final to get underway and continue in the second session. Now, it's not often when it comes to a tournament you have a choice of maximum 147 breaks to choose from, but we do, such has been the calibre of the last week. So here's the first one. It's from none other than Ding Junhui.
Now then, here's a Ding Junhui opportunity.
When I put the first red to the black and then take a look on the tables, there's all easy ones on the tables, and there's no balls on cushions. Think about trying to make maximum because there's a great chance.
I think the red to the left of the black will go to the right corner now. I know he's not on the red this time, but at some point, if you can shift that red away, then there's nothing much to stop it. Yes, the red will fly. I don't know if there's a plant, those 2 reds below the black. I don't think they're on. Maybe they are a plant. Oh, goodness. I was going to say, good shot, but he was quite lucky that plant existed.
Well, he's still on blacks, and you've got to say that they are sitting nice here.
As you rightly say, I mean, there's absolutely nothing difficult about this, where the balls are placed.
40 years on from the first, Kirk Stevens in that white suit against Jimmy White in that unbelievable semi-final.
57.
There's 2 reds, and down to the left side it's not a very good angle because the one red is catching another red, so it's lucky to have an angle to move the first red to go to the pocket side.
This, I mean, really is as good a chance as you'll see.
He's made 6 in his career, 6 maximums.
These reds, he's got to be perfect on them.
There's the century, but they're all willing him on for more.
This is the crucial shot of the break for me.
Black to the last red is could be anything, but it's to make perfectly to continue.
Oh yes, yes indeed.
Now it's on 8 more pots for a moment of history.
Also the last black to the yellow, yellow to the green. That's the end of the difficult side.
A little pacey, but not too bad. That was very coolly played.
3 balls to go.
That is okay. That is fine. What a moment this is.
Unbelievable.
The last black, it takes a while. Take deep breath to make not jumping so much my heart.
What a break. The crowd on their feet here at Alexandra Palace. It's such a rare break in this tournament. There's only been 4, and now that man, Ding Junhui, has made 2 of them.
Ali Carter elevate his career to new heights with a first Triple Crown title, or can Ronnie O'Sullivan extend his own record and make yet more history? Ronnie O'Sullivan knocks in the first ball of the final, the clinical opening frame. So often in big finals like this, things are a bit nervy, edgy. No sign of that so far. And what a terrific response this has been. This for the ton. What a final we have in store today.
Ali Carter right now is as mentally strong and as capable as he's ever been.
And Ali Carter puts together back-to-back frames early in the Masters showpiece. It's been brilliant, quick-fire snooker. Both players looking great. It's 2 frames each. Absolutely superb, Ali Carter. Ronnie O'Sullivan, plenty to think about as he moves back in front at 3-2. And that's another resounding pop.
Left a chance here for O'Sullivan.
What a big shot this is early in the Masters final. And it's wide. Huge frame for Ali Carter, and he leads by 2 for the first time in the final. A chance for O'Sullivan. A vital intervention from O'Sullivan, who now trails 4-3. Ronnie O'Sullivan will have much to ponder. One of the best first sessions of a Masters final we've ever seen, certainly the quickest, and the captain, Ali Carter, is inside of landing the biggest title of his career. He's outplayed the best player of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan, to lead 5-3.
It's got all the ingredients of being an all-time classic. Well, this is the tale of the tape so far. And snooker's a curious sport. Looking at total points, it doesn't seem like there should be 2 frames between them. But possibly pot success, Ali 94%, Ronnie below 90. Long pot success, 17% differential there, possibly giving us some clues. So, Alan McManus, that's the what, but how is Ali Carter doing what he's doing to Ronnie O'Sullivan?
Yeah, that's the question, and it's worth having a look back at a stunning session. It was actually so good, Radzi, I had to watch it twice. They had to put down a marker. You knew that today. So right from the off, in frame 1, what did we get? Before he plays this, Ronnie, I want you to watch how thick he pots this. He doesn't just pot it. He's got to pot it thick to hold for the black. It's an unbelievable piece of ball striking. He's somehow got to play 2 cushions to hold for the black. It would have been easy to bulk out there or even play a cop-out safety shot onto this end cushion. So Ronnie was off and running. So Ali Carter then is on the back foot. Ronnie's been brave, he's been bold, he's been all those things. And Ali thinks, right, OK, pal, very, very good. Can you do it again? I'm going to throw something else into the mix that I don't think he would have played against any other player. He hopes a red doesn't go over the corner pocket, so he gets his wish. Ronnie's kind of looking for a safety shot here. You'll see him, look at me, he's kind of moving around. You can see his legs there. Have a look round. Is there a safety shot on? No. Let's get back into aggression mode. I've got to take one on. I've got to keep on top of Ali. I've got to show him that I'm here to be aggressive. This time it goes wrong, though, because there was no out. Back to the sanctity of balk. So Ali Carter did the rest. Beautifully set up then the session. Just want to take you into Ali Carter's technique. Before he plays this, he's got a black off the spot. It's a panicky one, or it can be when you're not in top form. A lot of players would have been going this way, cue ball off a couple of cushions. That way you can get deeper on it, more forceful through it. Ali's technique, though, is beautiful. We talked about his length of backswing earlier in the week. It's just a little gliding shot. Watch the way he plays this. Absolutely beautiful. If there's any panic in him, he would have gone deeper off 2 cushions. So that was a telltale sign that he was in brilliant form, as he has been all week. Then I think this is the first sign of Ronnie acting on it. I think Ronnie bulks out a wee bit here, quite smartly, but it's the first time I thought it's awkward bridging with the right hand. There's no reds into the right middle. So I think he wants to keep the cue ball down this end, almost protecting. That was the first sign of it, and we're already into frame 6. Of course, the magic's going to come along, isn't it? It's Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's the umpteen times champion. So he produces the usual magic. He gets the green off the cushion, and you think, OK, normal service is about to resume here. He's going to take this frame down and level back up. But when you make aggressive decisions early in a match, it can come back to haunt you, and it does here. This is a nervy one. He cues up at it more than he would normally. It's quite a wide miss, actually, for such a short shot. And, of course, Ali takes advantage. 4-2 in front, a couple to go in the session. This is another one, then, where Ronnie, I think, switches back into ultra-aggressive mode. There's an easy... Let's just pause it here. He can play from baulk, get the long stuff out, nice and thin, back up the table, no problem at all. He has a look around. I'll take you forward. And eventually he gets to play it. And he decides to play it thick. Watch this red, though. It's almost like a 5 or 6 ball plant. The red comes back up table. The cue ball contacts it. And as a consequence of that, he leaves Ali Carter another chance. And, of course, Ali takes full advantage. So, in terms of playing cards and playing aces and all that, Radzi, Ali Carter is definitely holding them at the moment.
Thank you very much for that, Alan. And that is just one of the many reasons why Ali can and potentially will win this match. Add more jeopardy to it, courtesy of Dave Hendon, our statistician and commentator. There's not much this man does not know about snooker. Ronnie obviously has 7 Masters titles, but Jim, never in any of those 7 Masters finals after the afternoon session has he been behind. He's behind today. Will that matter?
I don't think so. I think, you know, for Ronnie to stop Ali Carter because he's in such good form, he's answered everything Ronnie's given, he has to tighten up his safety. You know, when it is Ronnie's turn to play safe, instead of pushing the boat out, he's got to make Ali work for it. He's got to sort of not bring it down to a bit more tactical. And Ali so far has made it aggressive with that second frame where he opens up the ball. So I expect Ronnie to tighten up his game a bit.
We cannot wait for this one. It's Ronnie's 14th Masters final. It's Ali Carter's 2nd. Can he make it count?
Here comes the 7-time Masters champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
A man who's walked down onto the arena floor in a final of a Triple Crown event many, many times before, and another man who'd love to lift a Triple Crown title for his first time in a 28-year-long career. How will this one unfold? Let's hand back to our commentary team for the first part of this evening of Neal Foulds and Dave Hendon.
Well, it's a huge night. Either Ronnie O'Sullivan adds to his already extraordinary legacy, or Ali Carter lands the biggest title of his 28-year professional career. I thought Carter looked very determined as he came into the arena. He had his fist clenched, smiling. Big, big night ahead for both. First to 10 wins, Carter leads 5-3. He played superbly this afternoon, as he has all week. Can he keep it going?
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
because he's up against the greatest has ever been. Ronnie O'Sullivan played a very open attacking game, but when they weren't going in, he was punished. Ali Carter made 2 centuries and looked very, very good. But this, Neal, the session, obviously, that really counts.
Yeah, all week he's done it, but like you say, in this pulsating atmosphere at the Ali Pali tonight, he's got to finish off the job. The interesting thing for me, actually, I looked at the bookmakers see it now after these 8 frames, and this is the perfect scoreline. It's virtually evens each of 2 now, with everybody. Just the view that that lead of 5-3 means both players have got almost an equal chance of winning. Any other scoreline, an easier lead for Carter or Ronnie level or in front, he'd have been a red-hot favourite, but this is the scoreline. They can't work out who will win, and that adds to it all, I think. You could have a strong opinion either way, but you could be wrong.
It was played at a breakneck speed this afternoon. The average frame time, just 11 minutes. We'll see whether that continues. It's such a big evening, particularly for Carter, of course, trying to win one of these major titles. Oh dear. Well,
the reason for that was actually the red on the right of the table near Ben Williams right now, because he didn't want to play thin off the bunch and hit that one on the way back. So he went the other way, missed it altogether. That was the reason for it. Got to be careful not to push this. Ben Williams on the spot. And he certainly didn't push it. I think Ronnie's just got to get the right balance, isn't he, O'Sullivan, in controlled aggression and just making a mistake like he did in frame 8, a safety shot which was a little bit wild, I thought, which cost him that frame as he was just clawing back into the session. It's going to be terrific tonight.
No.
Well, he's got all the experience in the world, of course, of these big finals. This is 14th in the Masters. He's won it 7 times. He's never won it having trailed at half-time, though, in a final.
It's a nice split, a meaty contact with the bunch, but it could have
14.
broke better for him. Obviously, the element of luck is always there when you don't really know where the balls are going to go. You just hope that something will spread well enough to be potable. Where's his next pot coming from? I don't think anywhere here. Already looking at potential safety areas. And this is it. The balance has to be met with paying attention to safety shots in positions like this, rather than just being a little reckless. It's a bit unlucky if he's left the red on.
14.
Well, let's see how Ali Carter is feeling. As I say, looked confident walking in. He's looked confident all week. Of course, he's had, I mean, you always get a tough draw at the Masters, but his has been particularly brutal. You've had Mark Williams, of course, Judd Trump, Mark Allen, and now Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's stayed positive. His temperament's been good. All of that he needs to continue for however long this match lasts for tonight.
Yeah, as I say, O'Sullivan was a bit unfortunate there with the red hitting the bump and going back towards the cue ball. It's a good layout of reds, but as you can see, black tied up, pink not easy to get on.
6. Seven.
Of course, it's been a long break, hasn't it, since the end of the first session, 3.5 hours or so. So
13.
just getting used to the surroundings again here. Bit of table time early on.
Yeah, for the spectators with all-day tickets as well, a lot of time for them to mill around and eat and drink or whatever they decided to do. Because, as you say, the first session was played at such a rate of knots that
18.
there was a big gap.
Yeah, and Carter was very much part of that. That's what impressed me this afternoon. You know, he was very sure of himself at the table. He wasn't prevaricating, looking for problems, just playing at a nice pace. 19 seconds a shot in the match. O'Sullivan at 16.
$24. 25.
Also well played to finish just perfectly on the blue there, top side, just.
Yeah, 2 centuries this afternoon to take his tally to 8. That's equaling Ronnie O'Sullivan's record in the Masters. He's done that twice.
It's quite a good shot there because, as we know, he has to get an angle on a red to get up for something a little bit lower than the pink or black in value. Let's see what kind of angle he does have. Not a wide angle, but he has got the other red, which is definitely taking him up the table.
It's
going to be a difficult break to take him over the line here, just because the cue ball's going to have to come up and down the table quite a lot, I think.
$34.
First sign of it being a mistake. It's very hard to think he could get from blue to red here very comfortably anyhow. What we can do is drop this in, I think. Can't play all around the angles. It makes the pot missable. This next red now is eminently missable.
40.
Whether he goes for the red close to the right corner or he's got a different way of playing it to keep the ball safe if he misses. He's playing the big shot. No. Deciding it was all too much. It's a bit unfortunate that he's gone off from there. I think he played the right shot under the circumstances, the safety shot, but he went off, sadly, for him. Not easy the way he's playing it. Pushing the cue ball up the table, extra pace required. Not an easy starter if he plays it into the right corner, but it offers plenty. Well, to think he might win the frame from here, you'd have to be a bit of an optimist to believe that was going to happen. But those points deficit he could get into and at least make it at least a frame which goes down to the colours. Of course, he'd be trying to clear, but it's not an easy table.
10.
Playing the big shot here. Yesterday there was just some suggestion that they were not hugging the rail on these shots. He's got to force it. No problem there, although he didn't commit to it completely, play it with more pace to land in behind the red.
18.
Cue ball is kind of heading towards that left-hand red, if he wants it to, the one on the bolt line up the left side. If he's got any ideas about getting that one into play here. Well, I think he tried it. I think he tried to clip
19.
it.
Shot ready. 21.
Yeah, we had a close frame which enabled Carter to lead 4-2. There weren't many others that were all that close. A lot of big breaks, one-sided frames, but here we've got a tight one to begin the evening session and a very big frame.
Not played many safety shots in this match, 17 actually, which is sort of averaging 2 a frame.
Thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 21.
Well, a bit of a head scratcher here for Carter. He can get to the top red, obviously, on the right. But what does he do with it? I mean, to play safe from it. Getting back to bulk is not easy. You can double kiss that red or you can hit the other red on the way back. So it's not an easy escape, this. That's a pretty good shot, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's very well thought out, that. Very, very well thought out, that shot. I think both players recognise the significance of this first frame of the evening session, especially with all the drama of the introductions and the crowd getting involved. They've all gone quiet. Terrific shot. It appeared O'Sullivan's shot was not bad. Might have a look at blue or even pink here. Good cutback. It nearly overdid it. No, he's playing the blue and the red, I think, to the same pocket. Slight issue getting on the green, I think, with the brown sort of shielding it to its own pocket.
We've seen some big breaks, 2 centuries from Carter, 1 from O'Sullivan, but these close frames, they are about nerve. And, of course, O'Sullivan could have won that one you mentioned earlier, missed the green. Carter pounced on that occasion.
That's a good attempt to get onto the brown to free up the green. So very well played, well thinking all the way through the afternoon and tonight. His thought process has been excellent.
Yeah, we know what a combative character, tenacious character he is. The head-to-head coming in, of course, 17-1 O'Sullivan. But Carter's played so well all week.
13.
So had every right to be confident. Probably playing his best ever snooker. Can he now open a 3-frame lead? He's 14 in front, so only needs green and brown for 6-3.
16.
It's a good lot, isn't it? A couple of reds and all of these. First red was excellent.
20.
There's plenty of snooker to be played tonight, but this first frame has set a standard because it's not been with a big break, it's been with a lot of tactical skill and some good pots.
Yes, and any question marks over Carter, I think, have been dispelled, certainly for now. He's played a good frame, and when the chance came there, he took it well. The initial red was excellent. He made the clearance, and he's 3 ahead now in the Masters final at 6-3. So, very interesting start to proceedings here. It's been quite a wait, over 3.5 hours. This is O'Sullivan trying to get the red out. He had tried on the previous shot, hadn't he? Just couldn't quite bring it out. Went to a potable position anyway.
No, left-handed, it's hard to get a lot of speed into the cue ball to bring the red over the middle. But I didn't really think he was going to clear. I suspect he didn't have much of a safety shot to back it up. So he thought, well, I may as well try and cut this in. And what a good decision it was, because he took them well. There was a big crash before he played that blue, but it didn't stop him. And then he played one good shot. Last red to brown ball to get the brown away from the green. All with clarity of thought. Excellent.
Just got to do it for another 4 frames. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Put it that way, but we'll see. He's looking confident. I thought when he walked in, he was looking really good, actually. And he's made a confident start to the night. Ali Carter leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 6-3 in the final of the Masters. Just to say, the last deciding frame finish in this tournament was back in 2010. That was O'Sullivan-Selby. So it's been 14 years. At the moment, Carter's got a good lead. We've seen a lot of turnarounds in the final of this tournament down the years. But looking good. Trying to extend the lead here in frame 10.
Settle down now, please. Thank you.
Well, a lot of those sort of shots seem to be potted off the break these days, especially at this very highest level. I'm not entirely sure the break-off shot is much of an advantage these days. It always used to be you'd win the toss and break in a match. Means you probably get the chance of one more break in a match than your opponent, but I'm not sure the way that the red split and the players that we see their long game being so good.
4.
The red on the black spot, just above the black, is the one he would love to get on ASAP.
Nine. 10.
shot. That is a good shot. He steered that cue ball into a very small gap. All about touch.
18.
Now, does he go into the bunch or play the gentle cannon on the right-hand red to be on the one to the left of it below the bunch of reds? Well, he's an artist, isn't he, in amongst them. There's all the beautiful cannons and nudges.
25. $26.
That's also good. I mean, saying good shot quite a lot here, but you know, that cue ball travelled a long way and finished exactly where he wanted to put it.
30. $35. 36.
Well, 13 seconds a shot in this break, despite being under a little bit of pressure to make it. It's okay. It's okay. He's over a bunch of reds, but he's on one. The one he
43.
played on as well. Already been a exhilarating night of snooker, a frame and a half. The way that Carter won frame one and O'Sullivan straight back with this. And
Just give me a second.
it's looking like more like a frame-winning chance all the time now. Ben Williams will have to put the pink ball underneath the bunch, which puts one of the reds that might have been in play out of it.
I think the answer to what some of the audience were doing between sessions is evident. I think the local watering holes maybe have been visited, possibly.
There was a quiet moment there, and it was just a chance to express your views about O'Sullivan, I think, for a few, which is fine, I suppose. Not on the shot, as long as that's between shots, we don't mind.
51.
Now, he's just got more work to do. The pink replacement has made him work harder. Can't think that anything will go.
58.
Doesn't really want to play the right-hand red because it's safe. There might have been a Tommy if they had swatted it as some kind of a cross double, but it is not the shot. He knows it. That was the sensible shot.
I think we've already seen a few signs here that O'Sullivan is more prepared tonight to play the sort of accepted way. This afternoon it was sort of throw everything at Ali Carter, see what happens. What happened was Carter got a 5-3 lead. Well, it's a fabulous pot.
It really was, Dave. Yes, it was on as a shot to nothing, but they're very difficult. He just glided it straight into the middle of the pocket, and now he has to play the roll-up. I think you're right. You know, he could have even tried to cut the brown in there, but he knows the significance of this point of the match. Carter's in a lot of bother now to hit one and leave it safe. O'Sullivan needs one pot. He's hit and hope. Attentional pockets he's gone with. He's actually put Ronnie under a little bit of pressure on the first red here. If he plays to middle, he's going to have to drop. He gives a chance back.
Well, it not only dropped, it thundered its way into the pocket, so it looks like 6-4.
Yeah, I can see it, I get it.
Spotted something on the blue, but this red, it's like a bullet going into that pocket.
He didn't think about the dangers there, and there were a few. Had it somehow not gone in, I mean, you'd fancy him to get it, but I've seen a few like that missed. But there's no counter-attack in this frame from Carter. Okay.
Another frame speeds by. The last frame actually was only 18 minutes. It was actually the longest of the final, and this final is between a 48-year-old and a 44-year-old, the oldest Masters final, but here we are. They're rattling through the frames.
7.
Of course, O'Sullivan became the youngest Masters champion in 1995. He'd be the oldest tonight, emulating what he did at the UK Championship. The good news for Stephen Hendry is he can't turn the clock back and become the youngest world champion. Stephen has that record for now.
10.
Yeah, although Stephen was getting a little bit twitchy at the Crucible, wasn't he, when CGOE was knocking everything in, because he could have beaten his record.
Well, he looks more focused in terms of playing the sort of conventional way tonight. Still going to attack, of course, but
13.
Other times being a little bit more sensible, maybe, and it makes him dangerous. He's dangerous however he plays, frankly.
18.
Well, I think the slight intimidation factor seems to have worked up until now in the way that he's just swatted opponents aside, but clearly he saw that Carter is not going to be intimidated into anything. It's a terrific session already, these two frames.
O'Sullivan has fired back after losing that close opening frame of the night. His family are here, his children, his mother. Big night, and O'Sullivan reduces the gap to 6-4.
Yeah, players are staying in the arena, but let's have a little closer look at the atmosphere and the vibe of what's going on. We're 2 frames into the first half of the sessions. You can see there the arena opens up. We're none other than the place where the players walk in. It really is a beautiful arena. It gives people a chance to stretch their legs, gives me a chance to catch my breath, and you guys at home. It's really hotting up now, obviously, as you can see. And referee quickly setting them up, so I'm going to get a nice seat up the top row there and join the crowd for this one. Thanks for joining us. It's another frame on the way. I'm going to make myself scarce. I've spotted a nice seat up in the gods there, up in the top row. I'm going to go and join the crowd and enjoy this next frame. What's going to happen next? We're about to find out.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere down there. Of course, Alan, 30 years ago, won at the Wembley Conference Centre, which was a unique venue. It got knocked down, couldn't be helped that it was no longer there. Went to the Wembley Arena, never quite the same there, but this Ali Pali really has brought the atmosphere. So Sullivan in the end breezed through that last frame, and here we are in frame 11 of a possible 19. 6-4 it is to Ali Carter. £250,000 up for grabs, and of course the Paul Hunter Trophy. It's now 20 years since Paul won the last of his 3 Masters titles. They were all from behind. They were all in deciders. and he helped to really keep the interest in snooker going. It wasn't the best time for the sport off table, but on table, the likes of him and Ronnie and Higgins and all the others, Williams, absolutely fantastic. He's quite right that he's remembered here every year at the Masters.
Good little shot there. You can always double kiss that sort of red in playing thin from it. That's a good safety shot. He's covered both reds on the left side, although they wouldn't have been easy anyhow from where the cue balls landed. Interesting start to the frame, isn't it? One of the few cautious exchanges of safety early in a frame we've seen. That was certainly the red to take him back to baulk, but there was always the risk of leaving something on. If he got in behind the green, it would have been a devilishly hard shot to escape from, and that top red goes, but my word, Carter looks in a spot of trouble now. He can't think of a safety shot. Like I say, the two reds on the right, the top one is potable, but well, it's not nice. I wonder if Ronnie's got the chance to get in behind the yellow from the red on the right. Coming in at an angle just to miss the brown. He could take the cue ball into an awkward spot here. He's gone towards the green, which it's hard to think he could have got the snooker, but he's keeping things tight.
So having played hardly any safety all afternoon, he has forced an error from a good safety shot, and he's got himself some sort of chance here.
Yeah, and it's not an easy table, but with 5 or 6 reds available to him at this stage.
6.
Get himself a head start in the frame.
7.
Well, it's his 4th match of the tournament. It's his first opponent he's met, though, who's really taken the game to him in a big way. The others didn't produce their best snooker against him.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, Dave, I think this tournament has been quite similar to what we saw in the UK Championship. He was getting through the early rounds without playing very well, O'Sullivan. In the final,
13.
it was obvious that Ding Junhui was playing as well.
14.
A lot of people thought he could win that final. Ronnie raised his game and beat him. It's not dissimilar the way this week has panned out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are some players who will tell you, you know, he gets too much media attention. Well, the answer to that is stop him winning these tournaments.
19.
You know, the UK Championship was a time where, as you say, he could have lost along the way, but he didn't.
20.
And in the end, he played superbly in that final to pull away against Ding. And, of course, the same could happen here. Another burst of inspiration in about half an hour. You know, he could be in front.
26. 27.
Well, he must think something goes to the left corner. Maybe the red above the black. It's the only one I can think of that might pot directly. There you see it.
33.
It will go. It's not a full pocket, but pots it into the thick side of the pocket. He'll be all right.
34.
Now, though, where are the shots coming from? I think a red to the same pocket as the pink. You can see it sticking out there. If nothing else, he'll develop other reds playing this shot.
40. 41.
Just lost the cue ball for once. Sort of shot where I don't think it's in off in the left corner, but the cue ball's heading in that direction. It would have been had he potted it.
41.
It's a useful break, though. Didn't seem much, and he'd be annoyed how it ended, but it's still a handy lead where these balls are.
quieten it down, please. Thank you.
Yeah, a few members of the audience just getting a bit too involved, maybe, although let's see where we are if it's close later on. The excitement levels go up. It's been a fantastic week. Tickets went on general sale this morning for next year, already selling really well. Oh, what a pass from the captain. He's been so positive as well. We talk about O'Sullivan taking his shots, and Ali Carter has done the same. But it's a tough table, this.
Good pot, though, as you say. And that middle red, I think, we just thread through there, or he certainly believes it. Now, has he got a shot to put
7.
The red and get the black into play? All of a sudden, it's not quite such a tough table anymore. He played through the
8.
gap, but it's already a very interesting frame. A long tactical battle, a good 40 from O'Sullivan. And you think, well, how can you say that with all those big breaks? But it was a good break. Tough break. This will be equally as tough.
He's trying to right what in his own mind was a wrong, which was him losing the final on his last appearance here 4 years ago to Stuart
14.
Bingham. Bingham played really well at the end. Ali Carter felt he should have won from 7-5 up. He's been like a coiled spring ever since, trying to get
15.
back here.
That's not worked out. He's unlucky there. He tried to play a pretty enterprising
21.
shot to get things opened up, but he didn't succeed in doing so. A lot to play for in this frame. Pretty much
Ali Carter,
riding
21.
on it. Who wins it? All these shots are a little bit different, aren't they, now that O'Sullivan is playing? He's making every shot count. There was another fine safety. And Carter looking to return the compliment here. Bit pacey, this one. Cue ball is racing back. Beautiful striking. Got that cue ball to veer across the table. Which red? He could play on the red directly above the black, which is opening things up. But he looked at another option as well. Yeah, played on the red by the black, which is more his sort of shot to just free things.
7. Eight.
Yes, he'll need one of those two awkward reds, or certainly the two reds which are somewhat tied up. 35 in
15.
it. Red-black here means Carter can still tie the frame. So he will need a piece of these two. than he wanted. He's probably got a free shot at this red up the table here with this lead. And also a red at the other end of the table. That would be more difficult for Carter to get a black from it. Or taking it to the middle at a very acute angle is the other option. Oh, what a shot. There's been nothing fancy in this frame. Nothing too aggressive. This is what O'Sullivan needs to do. I think he's recognised that.
Well, I think what we're seeing is how much he wants to win deep down, despite anything on the outside he may have said.
32.
You get into this session, the last session of the tournament, with the trophy up for grabs, suddenly things change. And it's all about focus. And that's what he's doing. He's played some good safety to set up the chances. He's striking the ball so well.
38.
Was under a bit of pressure, 6-3 down. Carter, confident, has responded because he's won the next two. So just one in the Masters final. Ali Carter's lead has been reduced here to 6-5 with one more frame to play before the last interval. So let's look back on another very swift frame there. Yeah, this was the error, just slightly overdid it and left the chance at the red, but it still needed potting.
I tell you what, the shot he played red to pink was a good one. This shot, I mean, he got a lot of backspin on this. He timed it like a dream, made a beautiful sound. And I actually think that was a terrific frame of snooker. You know, there wasn't a century or anything like that. There was that one mistake that O'Sullivan made, miss the blue, but in between it, he played some very clever shots. Ali tried to get back into it. He was unlucky with the cannon. And that was the last piece of the jigsaw, really, wasn't it? The crowd are getting right involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And the closer it is and the longer it goes on, they'll be even more involved. O'Sullivan, he's now putting Carter under pressure by coming back at him. I guess when he goes 6-3 down, the question is, how does he respond? Well, he's come out and played two really good frames, is the answer.
The vibe of this match has just taken another turn. I totally agree with Neal and Dave in the comm box. Ronnie was more surgical in his approach. All of a sudden, we've got one more to go of the session. Can Ronnie equalise and bring himself back onto level terms? The atmosphere, as you can see here, is absolutely scintillating. It's spine-tingling. Everyone's on their seats. You can see the Century Club up in the top. Everyone's absolutely loving this one. I'm going to leave you with one thought here, and it regards Ali Carter. The two most important days in your snooker life is when you first pick up a cue and the day you find out why.
Brain. Ali Carter to break.
So it's 6-5 to Ali Carter. It was 6-3. Ronnie O'Sullivan has just changed his approach, and it's working. He's won the last two very efficient frames from the record-holding 7-times champion. Of course, if he were to win, he'd go to the Crucible with a chance to complete the seasonal Triple Crown, the three major events, UK Masters and World Championship. That's only been done by 3 players in the same season, Davis, Hendry and Mark Williams.
One.
Well, I know we always talk about big frames. This feels like one of them now.
There's James Maddison, footballer. Rather, I was going to say a rather quieter affair than he's used to, but of course it gets rather rowdy at times. It's just sporadic. Snooker's not a team game, of course. You're out on your own.
Six.
Paddy the Baddie, the UFC fighter, a big friend of O'Sullivan's.
14.
And again, this is not a physical combat sport, snooker, but my word, it's tough mentally.
$21. $22.
Well, the reds are not great here. He might have to play into these. Don't know if he's left anything to the right middle. It seems not.
29.
He's desperately looking for something to keep this break going. Can only see, because those two are tied up, that he's got a red up into the yellow pocket. Not easy, this. Running off the, if you like, the wrong jaw. It was always very adjacent. It's one of those where you would just stay down on it because it might have just wriggled.
Well, in amongst that sea of faces, O'Sullivan's children, Lily and Ronnie Jr. Ronnie Jr. just had a massive smile on his face there, watching that red go in. Not so much Ali Carter.
37.
Well, he's been hit by a bit of a burst here, hasn't he, in these last 2.5 frames. It's
38.
been pretty irresistible stuff from O'Sullivan, has to be said.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's what happened in the UK final. It happened in the Shanghai Masters, actually, several times along the way in that tournament. He just found these sort of 2 or 3 frames of inspiration when he needed them.
45. $46.
Chance to level up then and really set up a thrilling conclusion to this Masters final. And even if it does go the distance, it's not going to be a midnight finish, is it? The speed these two are rattling through these frames. Average frame time now, 12 minutes.
54.
All these sports people coming along are watching one of the all-time great sportsmen here, still going strong at the highest level, the top level. 30 years after he made his debut at the Masters. 29 years since he first won it.
60.
And responding here in adversity, which is what great champions in any sport do.
61.
Yeah, could go down the table happily knowing that that red is there. Although he's a bit straight on the green. He would like to a bit of an angle to get close to the red, which will be, with the colour, enough.
64.
I think that's the thing. He was a little disappointed
64.
to be quite straight on the green, so that on the red he had to force it. It wasn't the shot he particularly wanted.
Can he get through to this red? There's enough on here, still 75 on. Well, you talk about big moments, potentially.
Well, I think it goes easily. I think he can clearly get to enough of that red to pot it. He played it with side as if he didn't believe it, and he hit it thin, so I think he made a mistake there. He went comfortably. Whether you pot it or not, he didn't need to put side on to make it gettable. He could already get to it.
Yeah, you're conjuring up images of a clearance from the gods there, aren't you? But in fact, the first red doesn't go in, and O'Sullivan is 2 pots away from 6 each.
He looks from behind the line, he sees it goes. If the red goes in, that clearance that you mentioned was really on, actually. He just fell at the first hurdle.
Well, the bottom line is Ronnie O'Sullivan has got his act together this evening, and that makes him, of course, difficult to stop. It's going to be up to Ali Carter if he gets chances in the remainder of the evening to take them, as he has done all week. He's played superbly this week, but we're now into the most intense pressure of the week as we head into the final mini-session. Ronnie O'Sullivan has played in 14 of these Masters finals. He's won 7 so far. Ali Carter, of course, looking for his first.
15.
So can he find a response when they return is the question. Because O'Sullivan has got the bit firmly between his teeth here now.
Yeah, the interval of 15 or so minutes won't harm Ali Carter. He's very much in this match. Yes, he was leading 6-3 and looking good, but he probably in his back of his mind knew there could be a backlash from O'Sullivan. Now, he shared
19.
12 frames in a brilliant final, and he's very much in there, Carter, and
20.
It might just be handy to have a few minutes to think about this. He's playing well enough, but he's had the pressure applied to him.
Yeah, this is where the mental work he's done, which has, I think, got him through that Judd Trump match, that quarter-final, definitely. It's where it all,
22.
What it's all been for, moments like this, when you put under it. Put it this way, if a week ago you'd said to him before the event began, Ali, you're going to be 6 each in the final of the Masters, he'd have taken that all day long, regardless of how he got there, who he's playing, or the way the match has developed. He can still win the tournament, of course he can. His one problem, though, is this man at the table.
28. $33. 35. 38. 42. 47.
So Ali Carter made the running this afternoon. He won the first frame tonight, a close affair.
53.
But since then, Ronnie O'Sullivan has been completely dominant. He's taken 3 on the spin, and as the players head off for the last interval of this Masters final, they cannot be split. What a finish we've got coming up for you here at Alexandra Palace this evening. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ali Carter all square at 6 frames all.
You won't want to go anywhere with this one. It is the 2024 Masters Final. Well, in 2023, there was another member of the class of 92 competing in that one, Mark Williams, and he was facing the incredible Judd Trump.
An electric atmosphere, which is very much a trademark of this great tournament. Quite brilliant. A 138 total clearance.
That's who we were talking to us up.
A blistering start from Williams. Judd Trump joins the Masters party early, and we're level at 1 frame all.
Oh, he's missed the yellow.
With his 30th Masters century, he set out the first frame to a brilliant total clearance from Mark Williams, but since then, it's Judd Trump who has held sway in the early stages. A very timely intervention from Mark Williams, who he stopped the rot and closed the gap to 4-2. Mark Williams is on the comeback trail. 4-1 down, he was struggling a bit, but he's won back-to-back frames to close the gap to just 1, with 1 to play in this session. Judd Trump leading 4 frames to 3. Judd Trump ends the session on a high with a break of 89 to take a 2-frame advantage into the final session of the Masters.
Well, if you're a snooker player, these are the nights you're remembered for, and if you're a snooker fan, these are the nights you never forget. Williams looking sharp so far this evening. He's won the little mini session 3-1, and the final is too close to call. Judd Trump 6, Mark Williams 6. Mark Williams hits the front in the Masters final. He's 3 away from his 3rd title. He leads Judd Trump 7-6. It's been a war of attrition
58 minutes. Trump late on took control. Hard-fought stuff. It leaves the final level once again. Who knows what's going to happen next? Judd Trump and Mark Williams all smiles at 7 each. Mark Williams with his 3rd century of the final. Clearance of 107. Thumbs up from his son, because Dad's back in front. 2 away from the title, leading 8-7. But Judd Trump is sticking in there. He's won this frame, and he's levelled the final once again at 8 frames all. What an effort he's made. He's back in front, and he needs one more to become a double Masters champion. What a finish. The first chance he got in the last frame, he took it out with a wonderful 1-2-6. A thrilling Masters final for the second time. Judd Trump wears the crown at the Palace. He beats Mark Williams by 10 frames to 8 to collect his second Masters title.
So you're playing the greatest player of all time in the final of one of the biggest events in all of snooker. And after one session, you're leading. You've gone for all-out aggression so far, so what do you do next? The answer is you continue where you left off. Until you can't, because Ronnie applies the rocket fuel. And the upshot of that is after 12 frames, it is 6 frames apiece. Cannot be separated, and now essentially a best of 7. Now, in terms of sport available on Eurosport and Discovery Plus, we have the Golf PGA Tour from Hawaii. That's tonight at 10 o'clock Central European time. There's also the World Cup from Austria. That kicks off on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And then a note for your diary, because if you fancy a late one at 1 a.m. tonight, Central European time, from a British interest perspective, by the way, tonight's coverage will kick off for Andy Murray. That's from about 3 a.m, although the coverage of all the Australian Open is at 1 a.m. And if you like your pundits cool and outspoken, you'll love the addition of one Nick Kyrgios to the Eurosport talent team. And just an also final heads up that the golf isn't available here in the UK. Now, as for us here in Ali Pali, Al, if it was ever in question, it turns out Ronnie O'Sullivan, one of the greatest ever leaders of all time in terms of front running, he's also not bad at catching either.
He's got it spot on tonight. He's changed it up as we suspected might happen, and it has happened. He's been 3 things. He's been measured, he's been thoughtful, and as a consequence of that, he's now playing faultless. And when he does that, the pressure starts to pile on the opponent. You've had your chance, pal. You looked like might be going off into the distance at 6-3. But now he's been reeled in, and this is where Ronnie normally, traditionally, finds himself on easy street.
Jimmy, it's been a really interesting start to the match. Not the first frame of this evening session, but actually when Ali is walking down the steps. I'm not sure if it was in response to Chris Henry, if it's something to do automatically, but he gave it the fist pump. What did that say to you?
Yeah, I don't know what that might have been, sort of, you know, if he does win the tournament, trying to get that emotion. He was talking about pre this final that he's thinking about being champion. I think that was a little bit early. We'll have to ask him about that if he wins or loses. But as far as O'Sullivan is concerned, he's bang on it. He's took care when he's had to play safe. He's not just like thrown the, you know, pushed the boat out at all. Every time, every shot has been like a purpose. And now all of a sudden he's in stroke and he's just making the game look ridiculous easy. Once he gets into that zone, Ali hasn't done a lot wrong. Ronnie's just been Ronnie O'Sullivan. And now Ali Carter has to come out somehow. First chance he gets, he needs to win a frame in one visit. Otherwise, it's all over. You've just got one of the greatest, well, the greatest snooker player ever in full flight, all of a sudden, just like that.
It's also a great pick-up, that, by Jimmy, body language. That's what the greats of the game are super schooled in. The other thing about it is that Ronnie would have been standing at, what would it be, 2 o'clock to Ali, walking towards the camera there at the top of it, waiting for his intro. I think Ali Carter would have known that Ronnie would have seen that. So that maybe adds something extra interesting to the gesture. But I agree with Jimmy, it was a little bit early for that.
Although his first frame, frame 9, he came out swinging, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, listen, he's played great stuff, Ali Carter, you know, but when you're playing against, you know, someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan, Ronnie tries to get the red out here, playing it left-handed, doesn't get the proper cannon. Few safety shots later, Ali Carter chips a fantastic red in. You know, he's hoping not to kiss the brown. If he hits it thin enough, it might come away and go safe. Gets a massive bounce. He didn't expect that. He played on the black, but then gets down and pots a good blue, a good pressure blue. You know, so he's saying, I'm here. Now all of a sudden, he's 6-3 in front. You know, it should be sort of alarm bells for O'Sullivan, but it's not, because as Alan said, and I've seen, he's playing proper snooker play. He's playing measured, he's playing discipline, he's playing that has won him them world titles and the Masters. You know, there has been in and out with Hawkins. He was measured against Ding, and now all of a sudden it's on top, 6-3 down, 6 each. He's bang up for it, and he's got his game together. So Ali Carter now has got to find some sort of magic, because, make no mistake, Ronnie's not going to dip, is he?
No, not at all. And there was lots to admire, obviously, in the 3 frames that followed that one. And what struck me about it was a kind of almost surgical way that Ronnie was going about it. Gone were the, let's get topside of the blue and get into the reds early and see what happens and hope something good comes along. He was more picking up on the mistakes by Ali, and there was one much too thin in the safety shot. And this red the next one we're going to see is as good as you can strike a cue ball. The cue ball floats across that silky way into just the low pink that gives him access to the next red, and you pretty much knew there, Jim, that the writing was on the wall for
yeah, you know, he just doesn't look like missing now, and he doesn't fancy missing. He could be anywhere now, O'Sullivan. He could just be in a room with Ali Carter on his own playing. He's completely zoned in, and that red in the middle pocket, OK, he was 43 in front, but still a fantastic pot. Everything's going centre. He's up to, you know, if we go back to tournaments that he's won, he's always around about this shot time as well. So he's in full flow, full confidence, you know, and Ali Carter has played absolutely brilliant. He could go on to win this Masters, but he's got to play out of his skin, Ali Carter, because, make no mistake, O'Sullivan's completely in the zone for me.
Al, I've often heard you both talk about getting out of a mini session 2 frames apiece. That 4th frame in the evening session, a crucial one for Ali Carter to slightly break down in.
Yes, it was obviously a crucial frame, either going to be a 2-frame lead for Ali or back in level terms. There again with Ronnie, quite a thoughtful shot, but then he's able to pick and choose when to press, and this is pressing as hard as it gets, Jim, isn't it? That brown is unbelievable.
Listen, as snooker players, that is an incredible pot. You've got it, the complete centre of the cue ball, immediately into the pack. Doesn't actually get a good split here. I think what is he on, 29? And this red, he plays it in a way that he doesn't leave anything else. I wasn't sure if that was going to go in, but once that goes in, he near enough won the frame. I think Ali Carter could get through to that, Alan, but he played it with a lot of side, didn't he?
Yeah, it was one of those ones where he thought, I've got to get something happening here. I'm on the verge of losing 3 in the spin. He panicked just a little, I thought, on that last visit.
Well, the 4th frame in the evening session was deja vu of the 4th frame in the afternoon session. Ronnie O'Sullivan banging in a beautiful century break just to cement the quality that man poses every single time he gets to a table, especially in the final. For the neutral, this one's a belter. It's perfectly poised, 6 frames apiece. Now, we earlier on saw the Ding Junhui 147. It'd be rude not to indulge you with another one, this time for Mark Allen against none other than Mr. Granite, Mark Selby.
Well, he might want to play this black. The reward should be there if it goes in.
At the start of the break, I wasn't thinking 147. I'm thinking getting points on the board and getting a frame on the board.
May have in the back of his mind be thinking that he could like to keep potting reds and blacks, but what he really wants to do is win a frame. But the red to the middle is a pretty obvious way of staying on the black.
And he's never lapped for bottle.
A lot of precision will have to continue in the positional side of things, and he is one for keeping it very simple on the positional side of things. Now he's going to try for the 147, isn't he, when this red's potted? Why wouldn't he? The frame is secure now. There's all systems go from here.
The first mission accomplished. The crowd know what's building here.
Well, he's gone across the table, and I don't see how he can keep this going now.
I was perfect in position till 88, and then it was like recovery mode.
That is a fantastic shot.
Badly hampered here, but he's knocking them all in. Every shot is going to be applauded to the rafters by this capacity crowd from here on in. Can Alan hold his nerve?
I've seen one recovery shot. This is going to be another very difficult shot to play. Oh, we're in business here. Brilliant.
This is amazing stuff from Alan.
Even then, I land perfect on the blue, mess it up, don't land great on the pink.
Big bounce. Big bounce. No.
I think the crowd were getting more and more involved, and they were willing me on.
Slow down. Slow down. Oh.
The roar in that place, like, for me to get on that black, but I was thinking, just please be quiet so I can try and pot this.
He's got it. What a break. More Masters history made. How did he pull that out? Magnificent, Mark Allen.
Yeah, I think it was the 2021-2022 season. I felt really good, you know. For pretty much most of the season, my cue action just felt strong, solid, and yeah, I just felt confident, you know, no matter how pressurised the situation was. World final, didn't really matter, you know, I just felt confident that I was going to come to the table and do the business, you know.
What a moment this is. This Crucible Theatre has seen many down the years. This is something very special, because barring snookers, this red, and it's O'Sullivan's 7th world title.
Although it looked like a real pressurised situation, final World Championships, blah, 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 but a lot of the time is you're just trusting your technique. OK, let's go and give that one a go. Yeah, so this was like the final frame against Judd. You don't want to mess up now, so it's just all about being clinical. You know, hours and hours of practice down the club. You know, you're preparing for situations like this. You just want to keep tight cue ball control. Obviously, the old heart rate is going a lot faster than it would be down the club. But the idea is just to keep as much control as you can. Try not to let the occasion get to you. And you just pot in the balls. And again, just keep tight cue ball control. And this is what winning the big tournaments is about. Doing it under pressure and when it matters most.
And now the tail of the tape has altered. Look at the pot success percentage increase for Ronnie. Look at the safety success percentage increase for Ronnie. Look at the frame score. Al, there's an old school snooker term here, game on.
Absolutely game on, but I think Ronnie has sent a memo to Ali Carter that I'm meaning business tonight and I'm not going to give you any late Christmas presents. The time for that has passed. Ali's going to have to work his socks off for every opportunity that's going out there. And the other thing about that is that he knows there's going to be less of them, which puts more importance on anyone that comes along.
So, Jimmy, put simply, who is the 2024 Masters champion?
Well, obviously, for me, it's O'Sullivan. You know, the way he played against Hawkins, I wasn't too sure, but I knew the game was there because it was with Ding. Now it's there 100%. And where he's upped his safety, putting Ali in all sorts of problems. Maybe he spoke to Ray Reardon after the first session today, and Ray Reardon said, what are you doing with your safety? Because he's now bang on it.
Whoever he's spoken to, it has worked. Well, let's hand back for the final time to our commentary team for this enthralling final of Neal Foulds and Dave Hendon.
So the point of no return, no more intervals, and there's still a lot of snooker that could yet be played. We've had 12 frames, there's potential for 7 more. Ronnie O'Sullivan was 6-3 down.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It's 6 all, but these matches, they have their rhythms. It can turn again. O'Sullivan's gone favourite, obviously, now, but as I say, there's plenty of snooker left to be played tonight. Bearing in mind, a lot of people thought he would win comfortably anyway. That's not happened. Ali Carter's played well all week. He's played well all day. Can he produce the goods now when it really matters?
Interesting break-off, wasn't it? Because the red to the right came straight back into where it come from. Packer almost undisturbed. There's footage, isn't there, of, I think, a match in Pot Black many years ago where Doug Mountjoy broke off and the balls went right back into the shape of the triangle. I don't think I've ever seen that since. Not a good safety shot this time. Key ball has travelled a bit. Has he left that red closer to the left pocket? Oh, it's not hanging over the pocket. I think he has. Again, he didn't like it last time, and that one goes as well. I don't think he's seeing these. He can get to it. He can pop this. And he had one not dissimilar, and guys in the studio were suggesting that he kind of didn't feel comfortable on it, but that will pot. I'm not saying it was an easy shot, even if he could get to it.
Yeah, that one shot from O'Sullivan just underlines his different approach tonight. It was all guns blazing this afternoon, trying to pot anything, but now it's the proper stuff, and that obviously is trouble for the man at the table. Played well this afternoon, Carter, no two ways about it. He was getting quite a few openings sort of handed to him, though.
Well, he can see reds, but can he see an edge of a red to escape back to bulk? It doesn't appear that he can. It's one of these awkward safety shots that you're faced with. You can see the middle of any cluster, but not anything else. Well, it's, do you know, it was nearly a brilliant shot. That red has gone down cuttable, I think. If Ronnie can't cut this in, it was a superb shot from Carter. Yeah, I think he's... I think that was an underrated shot that didn't get any real recognition. He knew there was a chance reds might follow the cue ball down there.
It's one of those, to the naked eye, it kind of looked reckless, but it was all about the cue ball, wasn't it? Follow where the white finishes.
This is really tough. Ah, great shot. I mean, you think back to that Stephen Hendry shot in that final against Mark Williams, the final back. This was tougher. Hendry's was from across the table a bit more. But in the end, of course, Mark Williams won that match on the final black.
So he is in. Let's see how he's feeling now. In this sort of position this afternoon, you'd have fancied him to make a big break. The initial red, though, was superb. And the intervals come along, I guess, at the right time for him after losing 3 on the spin. Just a chance to collect his thoughts. Gee himself up for second half. Pot that too cleanly, so now he's going to have to, well, play a good recovery shot. Heard the little sigh when he realised he wasn't on anything nicely.
Fantastic shot, you know. I know it only just crept in, but he really did not panic on that shot.
14.
He put everything into it. He thought, well, if I miss it, then I'm in trouble, but best not miss it. Really brilliant shot that was.
15.
I know there's a lot of bravery in the world. Snooker's not part of it, but that's the nearest thing I can think of.
I think that's what's been impressive about this final. They've both really gone for it. Obviously, you have to play safe at times, but, you know, when chances have been there, and they haven't always been easy, the players have been trying to get in, trying to make something happen. And Ali Carter, she's got that little bounce back now, hasn't he, that just went walk about a little bit in the last half an hour.
23.
Make no mistake, he is a very, very tough character, and he needs to show that toughness now in the heat of battle.
Yeah, I think right now, Dave, this is a very important visit, isn't it? You know, this isn't the decider. There's plenty of frames that could easily be played yet, but the
30.
significance of restoring his lead, getting his lead back on the back of an onslaught, really, from O'Sullivan in 3 frames before the mid-session.
31.
Yeah, the question was asked of Ronnie O'Sullivan when he went 6-3 down. OK, how are you going to respond? Are you going to respond? He did. He played 3 excellent frames. So then the question's asked of Carter. OK, he's come back at you. What have you got in your locker? Well, we might find out here.
$36. 37. $44. 45. $52. Yeah, sure. 53.
I think the cue ball across the right might give him more than one option. Clearly the red out on his own on the left is one he could end up on, but it could be that there's another red. The bottom red on the right could also be possible from that side of the table. Starting to go for that other red to the middle as he closes in on the winning line.
60.
He's going to need a couple more reds here. So which way does he go? Red, blue, and the one up the table, or like I say, there might be one other possibility in that cluster of 5. He doesn't really want to have to move reds, and as you can see, he's absolutely straight on that one. Cuts down his options a little bit. That's the one speaking about. When he could put the cue ball where he was queuing, he would be fine. 2 shots time, of course.
$61.
Yeah, this is the shot I thought he might play last time. Frame is never over until there's too many in it against O'Sullivan. I think he's more than happy with that. That bounce around the table, he's on it.
68.
Well, the first red was sensational, actually, to the middle. There was so much pressure on it. He needs this red now, and he looks like he's back in front. Oh, it wriggles in. I'm not sure. He was sure, but it dropped.
Yeah, the red and also that black. I really do think that was such a good shot. It was horrid cut back into a blind pocket, leaving everything. And it just made it, crept in. That might turn out to be a very important ball.
76.
And he missed it. These could be O'Sullivan's.
Well, what's been impressive is that he's got on the front foot again after everything that was thrown at him. I think the interval obviously did help, just stop the O'Sullivan Express train. Question now, can he make another century? If he does, that'll be a record.
83.
For 1 year at the Masters, it'll be his 9th. At the moment, he's tied on 8 with O'Sullivan, who's done that twice. It just shows how well he's played in this tournament. Of course, you only played 4 matches. Made 3 on the spin last night. That was also a first at the Masters. I think most people would agree he's played the best snooker of the tournament. It's just a question of whether he can now win the tournament. If he carries on like this, he will do.
92. $99.
So this is the ball for a 9th century, a new record at the Masters. What a response from Ali Carter. Ronnie O'Sullivan hit back hard from 6-3 down, but now the captain stepping it up himself.
Yeah, and I don't think you would always associate him with a string of centuries, as you pointed out. That's the record. A terrific player that he is. He really has hit a purple patch this week.
106.
Well, it's turning into one of the great finals. So much interest.
130.
So much good snooker.
150.
Ali Carter has won 5 ranking events, but this tonight, worried to win, considering where we are and who he's playing, would surely be his greatest achievement. Not least because of how well he would have played to win it. Thing about sport, if you think you know the script, think again, because there isn't one. The tide had turned in O'Sullivan's favour. It can turn back.
127.
Ali Carter got the chance. He made full use of it. The break ends at 127.
127 in the frame.
A record 9th century in this year's Masters for Ali Carter, who goes back in front. 7-6. He needs 3 more to become champion. Well, another thrilling frame. Yeah, this was Ali Carter getting the cue ball back to the cushion, or trying to. just about didn't leave a pot on.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the risk that Reds are going to go up that end, and there is that little bit of luck, but he played it well. And of course, as you saw, Ronnie, I mean, he played in behind green. This red to middle, as we were saying, Dave underlined the point. It's really difficult to roll that in without hitting it poorly or it running off with the nap. I honestly thought this black was a terrific shot. Ever so missable, just not a shot you'd ever really practice. And from then on in, this one was the one he wanted. It just crept in. I wasn't sure. He seemed confident it would drop, and it did. Beautiful break. He's probably never made a break of that importance at a better time. Superb.
So Ali Carter steps it up once again. His 3rd century of the final, his 9th century of the tournament. 127 the break, 7-6 the lead. Remember, it's a race to 10 to collect the £250,000 first prize, the Paul Hunter Trophy, and to get himself on that roll of honour. There's only 25 names on that list in 50 years at the Masters. Something Ali Carter's dreamed of. He's getting closer.
Now, please. 14th frame. Ali Carter to break. Can I please remind you that when the players are down on the shot, could you not shout out, please? Thank you.
The Reds chasing the cue ball down the table. The cue ball's generally quite well placed. Now, can he get through to the pot? This in the middle. Is there enough of the red available? If he can, because it's a natural to get down towards the black. I reckon O'Sullivan can pot this. Goodness, what a shot, but he did kind of half compromise the pot for position. He didn't really play on the black. I don't think he overly fancied the red, so nothing will come of it.
Ali Carter 1.
goodness me. What's that shot? Has he got there? He may have done. It was awfully risky, and the red to middle is another factor which he has covered both, but for a while it looked in the balance.
Right, can you please settle down now, please? Quieten it down.
My goodness,
you don't want to have to leave the arena, not at this stage.
It's not even Ronnie's shot.
Thank you.
They're shouting, go on, Ronnie. A lot of these tickets, I think, were probably purchased about a year ago, weren't they? The tickets are available as they are now for next year, 12 months back. They've had the hot ticket for a long time, and they're very sought after. You wouldn't really want to see anyone ignominiously thrown out.
No, and that's one way to sort of stop it, is if someone is made an example of. So the best thing is to just heed Ben Williams's words there and just pipe down a little.
These sort of safety shots with reds at the other end, it's all about finding this black cushion, the bottom cushion, time after time. At some point, one of these two probably end up playing a red to middle, but yeah, the degree of difficulty and the amount riding on the shot. I think he's considering potting one here, you know. They're all horribly difficult from this position, though. These sort of trickling reds to middle pocket, leaving the world if you do miss. Well, he's said all week that he's going to get down and play the shot because there's no point in hanging around, but there are times when you really do need to think over a shot. I think he's playing the red to middle that's just below the pink. This is a massive shot. He needs some help here. He needs something to cover something else, but he hasn't got it. Well, this is the shot he'd like to play, the red, straightish red, because it brings the black into play, but now he's back to the other one. Well, he couldn't see any other shot but to go for it, and the value was clear. If it goes in, they're his.
Six.
Sullivan also just taking a bit of extra care in the early stages of this break.
Seven.
It's one of those frames already, because where the reds are, there's so many sort of options. He's just working out what he feels is the best plan and who's going to argue with him. Record break builder, of course.
Ten. 11. $18.
He's never been quite in position in this break, but now he's on this red. He's getting close to doing so. It really is a golden chance.
$19.
Once again, not the right side of the blue, but the red on the brown spot, it will be next.
$24. $25. $28. $29. $36.
It's been a very considered break, this one. He's been a little bit slower with his thought process and shot selection than we'd usually see.
$42.
End of break, and as he does something that he probably shouldn't try, even double or something. Looks like he's going up the table. He's furious.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 42.
It was a handy break, you know. There's no getting away from it, and that's not a bad way for it to end.
Yeah, and unlike this afternoon, he did play the safety. He's shaking his head. He's not happy, but played the right shot at the end. Keep the pressure on Carter.
I think he knows that there's no time for any of that tonight. If he's going to, whatever happens, he's going to have to leave it all on the table. I think he's prepared to do so, as is this man. He's inclined, Ali, if he can't see the two-cushion glance, just play a big yahoo into the reds. But I think the two-cushion glance on the single red is a very tough shot. A little bit unlucky there. Played the thin contact, he hit just a fraction too much of it. Crowd are getting a bit too much now, I think. They're making a few noises, they're not helping people. And I don't think he's enjoying them.
Well, like you say, it doesn't help O'Sullivan either. I'm not saying that's the reason he missed that. But players do need to be able to focus.
goes all the way, I have to say there might be one or two less in here at the end than there should be. I'm not sure everyone's going to see the night out. A little bit too much. I have a feeling that the red that Ronnie missed might not have been hanging over the middle. It might have been a bit of a narrow pot from where he was. He's got a good white here, but has he got any cover? I tell you, if O'Sullivan can get to this red, there's a lot on it, and it's not simple. He can, I think, get to the potting angle. Played into the four reds, overdid it.
3.
He hasn't put this frame away, has he, with 2 or 3 chances? These are the ones that sometimes can creep up on you and you can lose them. I'm not saying he will, but he hasn't won it yet. Although that might go a long way to making him do so. Going to take another scoring visit to get this frame won.
11.
He'll recognise the signs that these are the ones that your opponent could dish up on you in their first real chance. He knows that could happen.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
yeah,
11.
there's always 2 things you need to look at. One, obviously, the score, which favours O'Sullivan, but then it's where the balls are, and they're kind of all on. 52 in it, still a possible 67 on.
He's going to have to play this. It's thin, it's cue ball's not in any control. That was a tough shot, all right.
So it's taken some winning, but 2 balls needed. Pot's the pink, Carter can tie. 59, the difference 59 on, so another red needed for 7 each.
Well, that's, again, I'm not sure if he's on the bottom red here. It's tight. Maybe with a trace of left-hand side, he could make that into a pot. The moment it's tight. He's in a very strong position in the frame, obviously, with the fact that he can only tie. Not a very O'Sullivan-like frame, this, if he was to win it, which he seems he will. He's taken about 5 scoring visits to get the job done.
Yeah, so as it stands, Carter could tie 4 reds, 4 blacks in the colours.
It was the fluke that he didn't really want, given that he couldn't get onto a colour, although he might see this swerve go in and that'll be end of frame. Goodness me. That's brought the frame back to life.
Alexandra 4.
That has changed everything. If you can get onto a high-value colour from the red over the pocket, which is not simple, then all of a sudden he could steal this frame, you know. Even if he deposited the red and followed through, that would have been absolutely fine.
One.
Tough shot that. He couldn't play the plant in case both reds went in, which would have been no good to him at all.
Well, the chance was there. It was a tough pink, of course. So now he needs a snooker, but he's left the red on. This has been quite comfortably the longest frame of the match. It's taken some winning. O'Sullivan will be very relieved, I think.
Certainly, because, you know, it was almost like the frame had been brought back to life. Just a difficult shot. You know, when you've got a ball right over the pocket,
7.
You just can't seem to get position very easily on it. There's no obvious control. And the pink was tough.
Thank you. 8.
Well, what it means is it's now effectively best of 5 for the title, 7 each. One of those frames does nothing for the nerves, and that includes people watching, never mind the players.
15.
It's been a great week here, it really has, and we've ended up with a thrilling final.
$18. 20. 23.
O'Sullivan has focused tonight. He's been zoned in. We've seen in this frame when things went wrong, how annoyed he was. He really wants this, and of course Ali Carter definitely does. So every passage of play now is going to be vital in the overall picture. This visit just steadies the nerves a little bit, because this frame was in the balance when he fell to swerve to pop the red over the pocket, but Carter missed the pink. O'Sullivan delighted to have the chance to step in and just kill it off, which is what he's done. So we're all square again in a pulsating Masters final here in London. 7 each. Well, this was late on, of course, in the frame.
Well, it was, but it was. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he tried to pop the red in the left corner and didn't want the fluke into the right corner. But I think Ronnie, if he could have just swerved it more and even followed through and off, would have been fine. Just think that with Ali's shot, if he plays the plant on the red onto the other, then if they both go in, that's no use to him at all. He only gets to play one colour for 2 reds. This was difficult. He was never in the frame, Carter, but he had just the door opened at the end, and there was half a sniff really. But it was a fairly scrappy old frame. I guess at this point in the match, we can expect maybe more of those.
Yeah, and they in some ways, they're the most interesting when both players have had a chance.
If you've ever wondered why every match, every session at Alexandra Palace in the Masters is always sold out, we're finding out right now. The place is buzzing in here, as you can see. Ronnie's just taken a little bit of a time out to just regroup. What a match we've got in store now. Best of 5, effectively, to take another Masters title for Ronnie, or the first one for Ali, obviously. We're just enjoying, actually, just soaking up the atmosphere with what's going on in here. Most people in the crowd are on their feet just to stretch the legs, but it's really hotting up now. I'm going to leave you with one more thought on this one. We haven't had a deciding frame final in the Masters for 14 years. Will we get another?
So 7-all. As we await the start of frame 15 in this ongoing drama that is the Masters Final 2024. Packed house at Alexandra Palace. Loving every minute of it.
And there's that break-off again. I mean, he always says the break-off doesn't work. Whether he's changed something, the red's gone back into the bunch again. Happened on the previous time. So he tightened up the break-off shot, and a lot of players seem unable to do that these days. Pretty big target to hit, and he managed to do so. Well, that's a mistake, but the bunch, I mean, they're so tightly bunched there. Red angle on the colour. None of it's easy. Can't reach it either.
It's another attacking defensive shot, getting the reds into play. Been a feature of this match, really. Every frame seems to have been open and flowing. The last one took some winning, yes, but overall they've both been really going for it. Yeah, it's another wonderful pot.
Yeah, and he's making that cue ball really slow down, and the spin is still on there. The timing on those long pots from O'Sullivan, especially today, have been quite something. Maximum result for minimum sort of speed and pace.
Eight.
I think the red slides through the middle of the others. That plant is not on, so it's not an option right now.
9.
But as you can see, the black clearly is available.
Well, he's not been in front since he won the first frame of the day.
16. $17.
Purposely played on that
24.
top red. It's only just got enough room to pot it. Onto the black again.
25.
The two reds on the right are going to be a bit of a headache, I think, in this break. I can't see him moving them at any time soon.
$32. $33.
Down the left of the table, there's a couple of options there. He looked along the line, and that's seemingly perfectly played. I mean, you couldn't have put it better
37.
with your hand. Look at that. He can run through on the black. Absolutely position A.
38.
Less pleased with that one, though.
$45. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
Well, that's the first one. He has put in a quick one. I'm not sure what it was. It was a bit of a jab or something that was not part of the O'Sullivan machine. Didn't hit it well. He knew straight away.
Well, they're all big moments, aren't they, from here on in? But this feels like one. O'Sullivan, as I say, was looking to go in front for the first time since he won the first frame. It's faltered. It's up to Carter now to step in. He played that aggressive safety to open them. That could have been his last shot, but this is a chance.
Yeah, it is. The reds are awkward. Those three sets of two reds all sort of right next to each other and not potable anywhere.
4. Thank you.
It's making things a bit of a ticklish problem. I don't think they're a plant. I mean, we saw it a few times. I'd be surprised. Ronnie didn't have any interest in trying to make them into a plant. It's a little tricky, this table. Maybe you could move the two reds here. I think he tried to. I don't see what else he could have played.
11.
Sure, he tried to hit the left-hand red. He was a mile away from it. Whatever he did play, he didn't get right at all.
Ali Carter, 11.
It looks a bit of a venturous shot, didn't it? To pop the red and take the cue ball wide and then inside the line of the pink. Goodness, all those things. It all went wrong, everything.
Well,
there's still the issue, I guess, of those two reds, but this is another chance immediately for Carter, and suddenly that composure that we saw earlier from O'Sullivan has just slightly gone walkabout.
Yeah, you're right, but there are fewer problems with this visit than the previous.
Eight.
On his last shot, I mean, he knows he's still thinking about it. It was a bit like one or two of the shots we saw this afternoon where he just took slightly too much of a risk, even for him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to make up for the previous visit when that went wrong. Sort of overcompensate almost.
Nine. $16. $17.
Well, the problem has not really been solved, has it? Those two reds, it's been like that since the very start of the frame.
24.
They've not moved. I didn't think they would, but they're going to be moved soon. And Carter would love to bring them into play. He's tried once and he got nowhere near.
$25.
And the other red is tied up as well, out on his own. Doesn't go to either left or right corner. Oh, this is straight. He's got to power this in. It's a great effort. It's a brilliant effort. So unfortunate, and especially 29. Given that the left red doesn't go past the pink. It was a great shot, unrewarded.
Well, as ever, we're just talking fractions there between getting on it and not. It's the latter, I'm afraid, for Carter.
It's a swerve, bordering on a masse, I think, round that first red. There's not many sort of valid options here. He's back to this shot. This is not nice if you're trying to pot this. You've got to really get the bite on the ball, get things moving. I don't think it's nice. Maybe in an exhibition you might try this. Wonder, could he consider the left-hand red up into the yellow pocket? The only thing I can think of he could conceivably play if it's a pot. Can't see another shot. Oh, what a shot. What a shot that is. Slightly annoyed that he's not in behind the pink perfectly. I mean, he's just forgot about, he just ignored the consequences there because he's leaving the red, he's leaving the frame. And he took a long time on it. It was worth waiting for.
Yeah, tremendous guts. He's always leaving the red on to right corner, so he absolutely had to get it. Oh, but he's not got the pink. Too thin.
This is it, you see him. It's a brilliant red, but the cue ball just drifted a little bit too far. Bit surprised it never reached. Agonisingly, that cue ball has just gone far enough, I think. He was worried that he would snooker himself, but he hasn't. He does need a little bit more, up to and including the green from here.
Nine.
Which shouldn't be a problem, but you know, this is a very tense passage of play.
Yeah, it's certainly not all been plain sailing,
16.
but if he does pot these next two balls, he'll have won 5 of the last 6 frames.
18.
And he'll be ahead for the first time since he led 1-0. So, Ronnie O'Sullivan is 2 away. Next one is huge, isn't it? If he gets to 9, then Carter
36.
Bang under it. He had his chance there, just couldn't quite. Well, he didn't get on the pink as he would have liked. He couldn't quite pot it. If he had have done, surely that was his frame. But as it is, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who hits the front at 8-7. Had a lot of dramatic frames tonight. That was another one. Because O'Sullivan was in initially.
It's a very expansive shot though, wasn't it? He tried to come inside the line of the pink, pop the red, but he brought the pink out and left everything on. It was a good chance. It never quite amounted to what he hoped it would. And I think this was a very unlucky shot. He played it so well. Different day, knocks the red over the pocket. And I dare say he would have cleared up there because he played another terrific shot here, but the cue ball just ran and ran, and that was the reason. This was quite a thin shot on the ping. I didn't expect it not to reach, but that's what happened.
Yeah, and that obviously presented O'Sullivan with the chance he needed to go 8-7 up. So we've had 15 of a possible 19 frames of the Masters final, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, for the first time since he led 1-0, is in front, 8-7. He took some winning again that last frame. His final still taking some winning, but he has, as I say, won now 5 of the last 6, and he's 2 away from a record-extending 8th Masters title. And Ali Carter, who's played so well the whole tournament, well, he could have potentially won that last frame, just missed that pink, but needs to try and find that earlier confidence. It's all about getting a chance. Of course, you're not guaranteed to. He's going to break in the next frame. It's going to have to be a good one. Now, of course, the Australian Open continues at 1 o'clock CET, so midnight. This will be done by then. It's been a close match, but a quick one.
Thank you. 16th frame. Ali Carter to break.
So for only the second time today, Ali Carter trails 8-7. The crowd living every moment of this.
Yeah, I mean, no 50 break in the last 2 frames from either player, which, you know, there's been some good contributions, but that's just the way snooker goes. The closer to the winning line, sometimes the really big breaks can dry up and the drama cranks up. See all those centuries earlier on. I think it's almost a must-win frame now for Carter, isn't it? We had a couple of those that O'Sullivan was faced with, which he eventually did win. To go 2 down with 3 to play would be a tough ask, given he did lead 5-3, as we were saying. We need a big turnaround again. No, double kiss just avoided. He was worried about it.
One.
Good pot, no reward.
Not much you can do with this, really. Even the roll up behind green, you know, the bunch is so tight, that's not going to do a lot. So he's not going to play the roll up for that reason, I'd say.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Pressure's just starting to get to both of these two. It seems that was not easy, but he was knocking those in earlier.
You can do it, Ronnie.
He hit that well. Not this one, I'm afraid, but O'Sullivan's shot, he got the cue ball to zip back. He really took the cue ball out of that little left corner of the table with that red in O'Sullivan. It will go. Again, it's typical of Sullivan. He gets that cue ball into a great area where you've got a choice of, well, in this case, about 4 or 5 reds.
Seven.
So the balance of power has definitely shifted towards him. And I was just thinking, you know, we've seen the blood, sweat and tears you need to win one of these titles. Ali Carter's put everything into this. At the moment, he's just struggling a bit. Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's won 7 Worlds, 8 UKs, and he's looking to win an 8th Masters. Incredible.
14.
Just the mental effort needed. Never mind the skill. The composure, the temperament needed. Remarkable.
$15. $22. 23.
Well, that was worth playing because of the reds that was below the bunch. They were always there for him. It was hard to think he wouldn't be on something, and they've all spread delightfully.
$31.
This is the point where he can really put this match not to bed, because clearly until he gets to 10 frames he won't have done that, but with a daylight between himself and Ali Carter, 5-3 down, he would have been thrilled to be in this position.
38.
With a chance to go 9-7 up. It's a big turnaround.
Well, he sort of chanced his arm this afternoon, didn't he? Wanted to see, I think, how Carter would respond. And he responded really well. He led 5-3. He won the first tonight, but O'Sullivan has been zoned in this evening, playing the way that you need to play to win these big tournaments. The mix of certainly attack, but also good safety as well. Pretty formidable. The competitive juice is really flowing. Maybe at times this week they haven't been, but then at times this week he wasn't really put under it. He has been today. He's had to produce it, and he is doing.
Now, as he pushed that red in front of the one he wants to play, he's looking closely at it. It's a tight one, isn't it? You might think that the other red is the option. Is very close. Looking from that angle, he might be lured into playing it in behind the pocket.
$47.
Well, once again, he's just finished in between about 3 reds. The one that's straight is into the left corner, maybe the one. This one, as a left-handed shot, might tempt him as well. Yeah, this is it. Black to the same pocket.
$48.
He's chiseling out another frame here without quite the same fluency that he showed earlier, but he's still potting the balls.
55.
Just great graft, isn't it, right now, as you say, chiseling it out. Getting
56.
The points on the board, moving closer to a 9-7 lead and closer to an 8th Masters title.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can say about this week where he's been in and out, he's not enjoyed it. He's not said good things about the venue. He hasn't been seemingly quite as disciplined. But it's safe to say that on the balance of the play tonight, he's rolled his sleeves up, hasn't he, against an opponent in brilliant form.
Yeah, and credit to Carter for pushing him. Of course, it's not over yet.
67.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, when the question was asked today, found the answers, or he has done up to now anyway.
68.
Well, there's the answer. He refused that red because he wasn't sure it went, but now he found out that it flew in. I don't think Carter will give up. It's not in his nature. Someone thinks he's already won, 73. But there's another frame still to be collected. I think he'll raise the roof if he does 74. Win, I think.
And we've seen here how much he wants to win. Make no mistake, if he had wanted to walk away from snooker, if he didn't like snooker, he could have done. At several times, he's still here. He's still here 30 years on,
81.
Entertaining everybody. And more importantly than that,
82.
Still winning. Just didn't quite get the red out. Could still pot it, maybe.
89.
Try and make a century. Not quite, but 89.
89 on the frame.
Real hard work kind of break that. He rolled up his sleeves, got it done, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is one away now from the title. He leads Ali Carter 9-7. Carter with it all to do.
Yeah, thank you. We're joined in the comfort seats up here. Simon, how are you enjoying this final? It's incredible, isn't it?
It's been brilliant. I think Ali Carter's played so well, but looks like he's starting to struggle now. Ronnie's coming on strong.
What was your sense coming into the session tonight? Did you think Ronnie was going to claw it back and sort of make headway?
I don't know. I thought Ali looked so good. It was all about the early few frames, but as soon as Ronnie gets going, it now looks like he's yeah, it's all coming on too strong.
What's the Masters experience like?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's great hang out with people like you.
The pleasure's mine.
Have a beer here and there, and yeah, it's great. This arena's fantastic. It's the best thing you'll ever go to, I think.
Listen to Simon, fantastic down here. We're going to let Simon get back to it and enjoy the rest of this final.
Well, O'Sullivan has left the arena between frames, maybe just to steel himself for one more effort. 9-7. It's been a tough old battle, and it still, of course, could turn around again. But he was 6-3 down. He's now 9-7 up. So it's been his evening so far. That man has played brilliantly, Ali Carter, in this tournament, and indeed today. But he's got to try and get in now. And more importantly, I guess, stop Ronnie O'Sullivan. He may now need just one chance to get this one.
Yeah, I still think that there's something for him to aim at here. You never know, but Sullivan looks pretty irresistible, doesn't he?
Thank you. Settle down now, please. 17th frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, the crowd enjoying themselves, but again, players need a bit of hush to concentrate. O'Sullivan looking for one more frame. Ali Carter trying to pile pressure on, make this closer.
It does take me back a little bit to the days at the Wembley Conference Centre when the likes of Jimmy White and especially Alex Higgins was playing. The crowd's more vocal then. There's been a few shouts tonight that have not been all that welcome, but as I say, in the past we've seen all sorts happening in this London Masters, wherever it's been played. I mean, when Alex Higgins beat Steve Davis at the Conference Centre, there was a crowd invasion. There was people out there all around the table when Higgins celebrated the win. It wasn't the final either. It was just one of the early rounds.
Cue ball has found its way back to bulk. Yeah, there's certain players in any sport, and snooker's no different. They just attract adoration. Of course, Jimmy White did, Alex Higgins, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is in that lineage.
It's not hard to see why, is it? The thrilling nature of the way they go about their business, I think.
Absolutely. I think, and a lot of people here will play snooker maybe socially, but you'd like to see people do something that you know you can't do. If you live to be 300, you couldn't play the way that those guys do.
Yeah, he played it with a trace of left,
of
centre striking, just to sort of take it round the angles as you do, but it reacted quite a lot, and as you saw, no contact was made. Carter probably has to attack a few here now from this position. Well, has O'Sullivan broken him? That's the question. You know, he's played brilliantly all week, and I think he's played really well today, but O'Sullivan might have just made a few cracks appear. This is a swerve like earlier. This time he gets it right. No colour. So no real
green ball.
Damage done. He nominates green.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
I would be surprised if Carter had lost his fight or his edge, because he really has never been his style. You know, it's like only so much he can do at this game. Is there another rally in him? Has he got more? Right now, the answer may not be in the positive.
No, he's gone from making the running in the final to playing catch-up, and of course, the point of no return really has left an opener here in this bear pit atmosphere at the Alexandra Palace. Remember, 17-1 on the personal head-to-head to O'Sullivan coming in. And there's been some close matches in there, but he keeps on coming out the right side of it. He has his chance again here.
Three. Four.
Well, obviously the red by the black was the one he was honing in on. Black might pot anyway from where it is.
11.
I don't think he could have got any straighter than that, playing it left-handed with sort of holding drag. A hard shot to play with your correct hand. So now he can see the winning line somewhere, not
18.
right there yet, but it's looming. And he's played very well today,
19.
O'Sullivan, because he's been put under pressure. The kind of pressure he's almost been sort of baying other people to place him under, and I think Carter's done that. It's the best performance I've seen from O'Sullivan for a while. He played great in the UK, but final. But overall, maybe today,
24.
been even better. Others might not agree, but seems to know
25.
the matches to really focus on. Gets better as the tournament goes on.
Well, building a useful lead here.
32.
In this 17th frame. He's looked completely zoned in tonight.
33. $39. $40.
Now this time he just screws in and out of the bunch. Almost wanted to stun them a little
47.
more. Which means he's lost the cue ball, but there's, I think, a red that goes to left middle. If it went in, it's a difficult shot. This is the shot again. He just screws out of them a little bit. I was going to say it might have been match ball.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 47.
Wasn't easy.
We'll settle down now, please.
Ali Carter hanging on here. 9-7 down, 44 behind. Oh, a couple of people were shouting, you've got it, just stayed out. That could be his last shot.
Yeah, from that low angle, it looked good at the start, didn't it? But clearly, that part of the pocket is not the right one. Yeah, this shot, surely if this goes in, then O'Sullivan is almost there. Hard to think, realistically, that Carter would come back to the table with a live chance from this position. This is where we can close out this Masters.
Well, he's just an extraordinary character, isn't he, in our sport?
8.
Ronnie O'Sullivan can be divisive. You can love him, you can hate him, you can agree with him, you can disagree with him, you can support him or not support him. What you can't do is ignore him. But he's not won yet. Now, that is a surprise. The stage was set there for the finale, and it's not over yet.
Well. Can you believe that? He seemed a bit hesitant, didn't he? He looked at another shot.
Right. Can you keep your voice down, please? Thank you. Otherwise, you will have to go. Thank you.
Oh dear. Well, I'm afraid the challenge has petered out, and it's done so in the last couple of frames, because he's had a couple of chances this frame. That was the worst miss. The crowd might have got to him, but he's not really going to blame them. He's been beaten by the man on the table, not the people in the audience. They've been vocal, but they've had a great day, and most of them are seeing their hero win.
8.
Well, he didn't kill it off on the last visit, but now he needs this red.
9.
So, as at the UK Championship, he's come to another major tournament where he was already the youngest winner, and he's going to be the oldest. You just wonder where this story is going to end. 48 years of age, still right at the top of the game.
17.
And he's going to go to the World Championship in April with a chance to make it 8-8-8 for the 3 biggest titles in our sport. Quite extraordinary.
Well, it'll end one day, but that day is not anywhere near, clearly, that he can still pick up these huge events in snooker. Huge events against all the very best around, and, well, he's still that man, isn't he? There's no argument there.
Settle down now, please. 31.
For an 8th time, Ronnie O'Sullivan is the master. Ali Carter put him under pressure. He led 6-3. Once again, the great man responded. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the champion at Alexandra Palace. 10 frames to 7. Well, just brilliant. He wasn't completely flawless, but he stood up to it. He dug in. He seemed to change his approach tonight. Really battled hard. Let's hear from both players with Rob
Ali
Walker.
Carter, you have blown people away with a brilliant, brilliant run to the final, and I hope you can take some consolation by how much they've enjoyed watching you get this far.
He's beginning to annoy me. You know, it's a good week. Obviously, I'm gutted I lost the final. It's all about winning at the end of the day. But, you know, before I rocked up here last week, I'd have took the final. So lot of good things to come for me. So I'm heading in the right direction.
You really are, because you said to me very early on last season you've got to win a title to get back amongst the elite. You won the German Masters, runner-up to Sean in the Players. You've been in 4 big finals now in less than 12 months, and you deserve to be back amongst the elite. You are going in the right direction.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Ronnie played very well there in the end. I know he missed a couple at the end. I think the crowd were getting a bit excited, but, you know, when you play Ronnie, you're playing the crowd as well. You've got to accept that. I tried my best, and, yeah, it just wasn't good enough today.
And you go home with a record. No player has ever produced more centuries in a single Masters tournament than your 9.
Oh, well, at least I go home with something.
Ladies and gentlemen, your runner-up, the captain, Ali Carter. Ronnie, we're just going in search of Ronnie, hugging his son and daughter. Ronnie, listen to that noise. For 30-plus years, they've loved watching you, and you are, once again, the master.
Yeah, I don't know how I've won this tournament, to be honest with you. I don't. I've just dug deep, you know. I've tried to just play with a bit of freedom, and then tonight I just thought try and keep Ali honest, you know. And if he's going to win it, he's going to have to scrape me off the table. So I just wanted to see if he had it at the end. That's all I came into the evening session was going, well, let's just see if he can get over the line. And that was my whole mindset, you know. So I wasn't even worried about frame, score. Just keep playing and see what happens.
But it was a magnificent comeback.
I mean, Ali didn't play great tonight. He played better this afternoon, but tonight, you know, he let me off the hook a few times. You know, he was aggressive today, but tonight he didn't take on some of the balls that I thought he might have took on, and it just gave me a little bit of breathing space, and I just done what I could, and you know, I just tried to just make the most, and just, yeah, like I say, just see what happens, you know.
After more than 30 years, you're still at the top. Youngest winner of the UK champs, oldest winner of the UK champs, and now the oldest winner of the Masters as well as the youngest. Still going strong, still delivering. And I hope you still really enjoy these great moments and these wonderful receptions.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, I've had an amazing career, and I love playing, I love competing. You know, the crowd have always been good to me, you know, over the years, you know. That's the one thing that I take from my career is the support that I've had, you know, everywhere around the world, you know, not just here in London. So to all the snooker fans out there, thank you for all your support, you know, over the years, and I'll keep trying until I can't pop no more balls.
And your 23rd Triple Crown title, can you put into context, it's a long, long list. How close towards the top is this, regaining this wonderful Paul Hunter trophy 7 years after your last win here?
I've never been driven by titles or numbers and all that sort of stuff. I've always just wanted to play well and compete and enjoy the game. That's the bottom line for me. You know, if I happen to pick up a few tournaments, that's a bonus, you know, but it's never been my drive, you know. I've always just come just to try and master this game, and I've yet to be able to master it, you know, but I'll keep trying.
And we're enjoying watching, and you know, I know you say it's not about records, but you are 2/3 to the hat-trick in a single season. UK, Masters, you know the broadcasters are going to be talking about it, and they're going to be watching at the Crucible.
Yeah, no, listen, I always have a good idea around about February, March, whether my game's in good enough shape to win the Worlds. At the moment, I'd probably say it's not good enough to feel confident of winning it. I can still win it, but I'd like to go there with a bit of confidence, you know, in my game. You know, longer sessions, you have to learn to cruise and just sort of, you know, just win most of your games in second gear. But at the moment, I feel like I'm having to squeeze everything out just to get a result, which is hard, but, you know, I'm a competitor, so I'll keep fighting, you know?
You most certainly are. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest of all time has won again. Please welcome your presentation party, Steve Dawson, Chairman of World Snooker Tour, and Savas Fellas, CEO and founder of Mr. Q. The runner-up, receiving a silver medal and a cheque for £100,000, the captain, Ali Carter.
He did play well, but he was up against a force of nature in the end. Doesn't want the silver medal on, I don't think. But he's putting it on anyway.
And the winner, receiving a cheque for £250,000, the Paul Hunter Trophy, and the title 2024 Mr. Q Masters Champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, as he said, I'm a competitor, and he dug deep when he had to today.
Your champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
As he collects the Paul Hunter Trophy, the £250,000 first prize, and his crown for the 8th time Masters champion. And all those players who say there's too much focus on Ronnie O'Sullivan, the answer's simple. You're going to have to beat him in these big tournaments. And we'll be at the Crucible in April. He has the chance to complete the Triple Crown in a single season. Who's going to stop him? Nobody did this week at Alexandra Palace. So Ronnie O'Sullivan then in 2024, once again for the 8th time, is the Masters champion.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's a competitor, he's a champion, he's a master. He won his first Masters title in 1995, then in 2005, 2007, 2009, 2014, 2016, 2017, and now in 2024. And Alan McManus, simply put, Ronnie O'Sullivan, too good.
Doing what others find difficult is talent. But the talented find ways of doing the impossible, and that's the genius of Ronnie O'Sullivan. He found a way tonight where I actually thought that Ali Carter was going to get this thing done. But he came out, he doubled down on pretty much every shot he played out there this evening, and that was the difference. We know he's the class of the field. He's the best player that's ever been out there, but when he knuckled down and the question was asked by Ali Carter, he came up with the goods, and that's what he does, unfortunately for Ali Carter and the rest of, you know, the players down the last 20, 30 years or so.
Well, there are his two lucky charms, Ronnie Jr. to our left and Lily to our right. And the only thing Ronnie O'Sullivan can't do is lift the Paul Hunter Trophy. He's got a bad elbow, so he's going to leave it to his children to do exactly that. Moments which will undoubtedly last a lifetime. His 23rd Triple Crown title. Jimmy White, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the greatest of all time, just continues to increase in his greatness.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see that, because obviously he's been on the road. He's been in China and all that, and then to come here to spend time and then see him get this fantastic victory. He's just like, you know, that was a genius at work. What he done today was different to all of his matches. He'd done it a little bit when he played Ding. He was disciplined today. He played like a snooker player. He played like, you know, when you get as good as Ronnie O'Sullivan or these people that win all these major tournaments all the time, they don't want to win by playing on instinct, taking on these difficult shots. They want to work their way in. And that's what he done today. He tuned himself in to get his safety play right. And once that was happening, he was creating chances. You know, he was just too good at the end. It didn't matter who was in the other chair. He was hovering for me around 4th or 5th gear. And, you know, Ali Carter's had a fantastic week. He's a bit disappointed there the way he's gone out, missing that red. Like, not, you know, just sort of like a bit punchy, really, because he's not had many opportunities. But O'Sullivan was just sublime. He's just like magic. He's just like goes for the whip and produces.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan will be making his way to the studio in just a few moments' time. And so just take this opportunity, Al, just to touch on Ali Carter. He's had a superb tournament, but just on a human level, to go from 10 years ago, we're talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan, youngest to oldest, and that's an incredible journey. But Ali Carter, to go from cancer diagnosis 10 years ago to Masters final 10 years later, what a man.
Absolutely. I did a nice interview with him. I remember that 10 years ago at Coventry, and he got very emotional. I did too, and I thought, I just hope you're going to be around, pal, to do these things, because he's got that talent to be able to compete at the top level. He hasn't won the tournaments that some guys have won, but what a tenacious guy he is, and every credit to him for the way that he applied himself all season long, actually, you know, getting back in the top 16, winning the German Masters at the, you know, the start of last year, cemented his place in this Masters, and he'll be back for sure, you know. He just got to keep at it. Unfortunately, today and tonight, he came up against someone that's a little bit special.
He really is special. He's here now, Ronnie O'Sullivan, 23rd Triple Crown title, 8th Masters. I know you absolutely love talking about snooker, Ron, so we'll keep it quick. How was that for yourself?
It was just a struggle all week. It was just an absolute struggle. I don't even know I've won that tournament, to be honest with you. It's just unbelievable. Just crazy.
How's your elbow, by the way? Because at the end we saw you didn't lift the trophy.
Yeah, I can't, because my elbow is really sore, so I don't want to sort of aggravate it, make it so I can't play snooker, so there's no point. I can't pick anything heavy up or take any risk on it.
Two lucky charms in the audience today. Great to see Lily and Ronnie Jr. there to enjoy their dad doing something special.
Yeah, it was nice for them to come and watch and see me graft it out, you know. I thought tonight I just had to just try and be granite, you know, just be granite, just use my head, just be mentally strong. I'm a bit played out, to be honest with you. No, I've not really. I feel like after the UK, I feel like I had such a strong push September, October, November, December. I really went hard at every tournament, you know. I look at the first 4 months as my main part of the season, you know, and I put everything into that, and I've done better than I thought I would do. And subconsciously, you just think, oh, you know what, I'm sort of quite content with that. So, I don't know, it's just hard to keep motivating yourself, do you know what I mean? It really is.
Sorry, Al. Yeah, sorry. First of all, congratulations, obviously. Would you concede that your outlook and the way that you set your game up to play tonight was a bit different from this afternoon?
Yeah, I just didn't have the headspace all week to want to grind it out, or so I just thought I'd just go hell for leather. I mean, I literally only got back from Tibet about 4 days before the tournament, so, you know, I felt a bit jaded from that, to be honest with you. So I was just looking just to get through the tournament, just as unscathed as possible, you know, and each round I stayed in, I felt a little bit stronger and stronger. But, yeah, it's, I don't know, this game's too hard.
Your mate Robbie,
too hard.
Robbie was talking about the jet lag that he felt. He was obviously with you out in Tibet.
Yeah.
How tough is it to overcome that and then try and play world-class snooker?
No, I feel quite relaxed. You know, it's just, I don't know, it's just my cueing's just really not great, you know what I mean? I'm not confident. That's the bottom line. I'm not a confident snooker player at the moment. I'm just someone that's having to just bat it out, and I don't like not playing with confidence, you know what I mean? So, but I know I can battle it out, and maybe that's a way through it, but it's tough sometimes, you know?
The wonderful moments that we're seeing there, Ron. If we go back to when you won at 19 years old, in '95, are there any elements of your game that you feel are now better than they were back then?
I don't know. I thought I was the best when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I thought I was even better then than I was now, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Technically, I was.
12?
Technically, yeah. Technically, I felt I was much better, you know, more consistency. These days, I'm a bit in and out, and I search for it, and, you know, it's got better since 2001. You know, I've had to work on the technical side just to keep things tight, as tight as I can, and, you know, I have some good spells, some good months, good years sometimes, you know, but then I have some awful months and awful years, you know, and I just accept that that's how it is, and I just try and play my way through it, and hopefully it sort of comes good at some point. But yeah, it's quite a struggle, the game for me at the moment, you know, confidence-wise, you know.
Jim, how old was Ron when you first met him?
Oh, well, I heard about him. I played him in Blackpool. He murdered me 5-1. But it was nice to, it was like a breath of fresh air, you know, someone coming along, starting, attacking again. Congratulations, mate.
Cheers, Jim. Thank you.
Well done. I just think, I think today you wanted to. People come up to me and say O'Sullivan wins when he wants to win, right? And I say, don't worry about O'Sullivan. Every time he gets his cue out, he wants to win. And I think today you was more measured. You said there, you know, he had to win it. You weren't going to give it to him. But you seemed, you know, a little bit. You had a little bit with Ding. I don't think you had it with Hawkins. But in this match, you was more focused on your safety. When you played safe, you was finding the line and you forced him to make mistakes. And then I think you got going a little bit tonight. You got to give yourself a G, Ron. Come on.
Yeah, I can't really, you know.
We will give you a G.
Yeah, I know the balls went in and I got the result. And yeah, I just had to keep Ali
determination was there.
Yeah, I just had to keep him honest. I thought, let's see if he's got the bottle to get over the line. Do you know what I mean? That was the only thing that turned me on tonight. I just thought, let's just get him to that point where it's sort of like, get him, you know, I want to see if he twitches. love seeing it when their bottle goes, you know. Love it. But you can play terrible and still get them in that position, and it's like, let's see if you can do it. Do you know what I mean? And that was what was driving me on tonight, just getting him to that point to go, come on, let's see if you've got it. Because not many people have, so it's a good place to find out when you're out there.
How close to the finishing line do people begin to feel it like that?
Most of them do. There's very few that don't, you know. I mean, that's what I don't do. That's my main asset really now, is that I just get them to that point. I just try and get them to that point where I go, okay, you know, it's about potting big balls. It's like holding yourself together. And don't get me wrong, there's a few on the tour that can do it, but not many. So I always like to get them in that situation, just see if they can produce, you know.
I've heard you talk about the likes of Hendry and Higgins. They're two men who've stood up to that pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say they've got the ultimate bottle, you know. They can win from behind, win from in front, you know, they can pot the big balls. And you just know that they don't flinch, you know. They might miss, but you know it's not a bottle thing, it's just that they've missed the ball. You know, there's a difference, you know, when someone's bottling it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Ali did, but he let me off the hook tonight, you know, he gave me some breathing space, and that gave me a little bit of confidence, and I thought, OK, let's just keep chipping away and just see where we get with it.
It's fair to say, I think, Radzi, that, and Ronnie maybe correct me, but you sort of tailor your season now, don't you? You take time off, don't play in all the tournaments. Looking ahead, not so much at the World Championship itself, but will you tailor things around that? You know, just take a couple of weeks off here.
I'm going to take 2 months off now. I'll probably just play next week because it's, I don't know, it's sort of 32 players. But I've earned my way to get in that tournament, but I'll just swerve all the other tournaments now. And just play them ones. I just feel like I want a break. You know, I'm quite looking forward to getting on the exhibition circuit. Just start playing some more exhibitions because I enjoy them. They're a bit of fun. I think too much intense snooker for me is not good. Do you know what I mean? I now need to back off and consolidate and just get some fun in the game. So the exhibitions will be good. I've got a busy March, May, June, July. So I don't want to be fatigued going to that sort of part of my life, you know. I've had a good season. I've had a great season. I mean, if I just won the Shanghai Masters, it was a great season. I took the UK, and now I've nicked this one as well. So, you know, I've had an amazing season, you know. So
as Ala pointed out, that never actually before have you won UKs and Masters in the same season. So something's going right. You also made history, the first ever man to win the Masters title with trainers.
Oh, really? Yeah. I wouldn't have got through it with a pair of shoes. My feet are really sore now, even in these trainers. So, yeah.
Well, Ron, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
As ever, here, in fact, let's give this man a round of applause. The greatest of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Everywhere he goes, he gets an applause. But there is only one place to continue to watch the snooker, and that is indeed at the home of snooker on Eurosport. And to give you a flavour of what we've got coming up over the course of the next couple of months, we've got the World Grand Prix that kicks off on Monday. Unfortunately, not available in the UK. The Welsh Open qualifiers begins on the 22nd of January, then the German Masters, then the Welsh Open, then the Players. Again, that unfortunately isn't available in the UK. And if you do like a variety of sport, a quick reminder that the Australian Open has officially kicked off. Nick Kyrgios, by the way, is going to be on the talent lineup for that one. The bad boy of tennis, aka the Jimmy White of tennis, if you like. And a group that's been following Ronnie around all day, all week. It's actually no filter. You can see behind the scenes of snooker. Whether you want to see Ronnie O'Sullivan or Jimmy White, that is happening there. And a quick heads up about the tennis as well. We've got the likes of Andy Murray, Coco Gauff and Stefanos Tsitsipas all in action, and it is one of the Grand Slams, a bit like the Masters, but for tennis. So that is not to be missed. And as for us here, we want to say a thank you to each and every one of you for watching 8 days of what's been unforgettable, historic snooker. And if there's any question about the man to the right-hand side, it has been answered time after time after time. Thank you very much to the company of Jimmy White, Alan McManus, Rachel Casey and the team all behind the camera. And all that is left to say, this man has been masterful. It's been a masterclass. Ronnie O'Sullivan, the master, for an unprecedented 8th time. Have a very good night.
Can Ali Carter elevate his career to new heights with the first Triple Crown title, or can Ronnie O'Sullivan extend his own record and make yet more history? Ronnie O'Sullivan knocks in the first ball of the final, the clinical opening frame. So often in big finals like this, things are a bit nervy, edgy. No sign of that so far. And what a terrific response this has been. This for the ton. What a final we have in store today.
Ali Carter right now is as mentally strong and as capable as he's ever been.
And Ali Carter puts together back-to-back frames early in the Masters showpiece. It's been brilliant, quick-fire snooker. Both players looking great. It's 2 frames each. Absolutely superb, Ali Carter. Ronnie O'Sullivan, plenty to think about as he moves back in front at 3-2. And that's another resounding pot.
Left a chance here for O'Sullivan.
What a big shot this is early in the Masters final. And it's wide. Huge frame for Ali Carter, and he leads by 2 for the first time in the final. A chance for O'Sullivan. A vital intervention from O'Sullivan, who now trails 4-3. Ronnie O'Sullivan will have much to ponder. One of the best first sessions of a Masters final we've ever seen, certainly the quickest, and the captain, Ali Carter, is inside of landing the biggest title of his career.